My best friend slept with my husband, so I got revenge with his boss.
An eye for an eye.
That's
A husband for a husband.
healthy. My husband had a threesome with my best friend and his girl best friend, and I got so angry I hooked up with his boss, and now I regret it. By the way, this comes from Excellent Wedding 812, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm John.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. Opie says, my brother had to have surgery, and I wanted to be there for him, so I ended up staying about 2 weeks. I always knew my best friend had a thing for my husband. Oh, she admitted it multiple times.
Yikes.
But I would laugh it off because surely my married best friend wouldn't F my husband, right? I didn't even catch them. My husband's girl best friend is just that insane that she casually admitted it to me as I was cleaning the kitchen when I got back. I thought she was kidding. She wasn't. I called my best friend and she denied it at first, then broke down sobbing and effing admitted to it. I was so angry. I threw all of my husband's crap into a big suitcase and tossed it on the front lawn. I locked the doors and piled a bunch of furniture in front of them so the dumb butt could not get in. When he got home, he couldn't get in and he started panicking. He banged on the door and shouted for me to let him in. I just stayed upstairs with our dog and let him tire himself out. Eventually, he left and stayed the night at his girl best friend's crappy apartment. They probably effed too. All the while, he was crying over me. Dumb butt. After a few weeks of him blowing up my phone and pleading with me, I finally let him come home and we talked. He was sobbing and apologized. Said he was a spicy sleep regular user, if you know what I mean, and needed help. I told him I wanted him to go to therapy and us to go to couples counseling. He agreed without any fight. He slept on the couch while I slept in our bedroom. My best friend hadn't even tried to contact me or apologize for being the homewrecker she is. My husband had some sort of work dinner party a week or so later that he needed to attend, and he invited me. This was the first time he'd ever invited me to anything like this. We're just going to keep going. Pretty sure it's because none of his female coworkers knew he was married. Or that's at least what I'm assuming based on how shocked all of the women were to meet me. At the dinner, his boss, 50s male, was chatting with me, newly divorced. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I asked him how that was and made sure to ask loud enough for my husband to hear. We ended up chatting all night and my husband scurried off from the dinner table and told me that he was going home and said I should get an Uber, clearly pissed off at me. Needless to say, his boss was shocked at how he treated me and I couldn't help but play up the sad, lonely wife bit. It ended with us going back to his house and hooking up. When I woke up that morning, I Ubered home. Since then, his boss has sent flowers to our home and called me a few times.
Messy.
My husband is completely aware of this, and now the regret is starting to sink in. The guilt and worry has started to eat away at me. The revenge felt nice, but now it's clear it's eating at the both of us. I'm going to find a lawyer and start the process soon. I assume the divorce process. I just needed to tell all of this to someone that isn't my family because I don't even know the first detail about this. Quick edit. Forgot to add that when we had our first therapy appointment, he never showed. He was supposed to head there after visiting his sister who lives just a few miles from us. I sat and waited in that office for over an hour before I just went home and saw his butt sitting on the couch texting on his phone. He knew we had that appointment because I had texted him multiple times about it. He had no intention whatsoever to fix this, give me closure, or work on his spicy sleep habits. Comment number 1. Yeah, that marriage had no business existing. Yep.
Call it quits.
Comment number 2. They certainly match. Girl best friend alone might have an excuse as a husband may have been able to convince her that they had permission. That could explain the casualness of the admission. Lack of guilty mind shows up that way. Everybody else acted with make of forethought or at least reckless disregard. If they like this kind of drama, it's fine as long as no children come into the picture. If OP and husband have kids, this becomes serious. Comment number 3 says, hope your former best friend's husband knows about this before he catches something from her. Ooh, true.
Yeah.
Comment number 4, it's hard to find a story where every single person mentioned in it is the a-hole, but this story checks every box. We caught them all, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. Gotta catch them all.
Not just talking about checkboxes. But someone replied to that comment. Literally every person mentioned, there's not even a coworker in this story that isn't at least a little bit of an a-hole. In a reply to that, brother didn't do anything except have surgery. Yeah, the
brother just had surgery, and he probably stole someone's kidney for it.
Yep, exactly.
Probably a little kidney thief.
He wanted to just get a new kidney just for the thrill of it, so he just
didn't even need that kidney.
Just scooped one up, Freaking
a-hole,
dude. And someone replies to that, her brother is the biggest a-hole in this whole story. If he didn't have to have his surgery, none of this would have happened.
Exactly.
Wait, so it was, did the threesome go down during the surgery?
I think so.
Or is that right?
I don't know.
I
think she was away for it or something?
Yeah, I feel like that's what it was. That detail just...
A-hole.
Update. It's been a wild few weeks, I can imagine. We started the divorce process. Soon-to-be ex moved out, reluctantly, might I add. He moved in with his girl best friend, now fiance actually, and they're expecting a baby.
Oh, I don't know how he expects to marry her if y'all aren't even divorced legally.
I've read a lot of stories on this show.
Yeah.
That one sentence, he moved out reluctantly, moved in with the new girl best friend. They're now fiancés and they're having a baby.
Dominoes, man.
One
after the other.
Wow. It's his, I think. Emphasis on the
say?
I think. Who's to freaking say? DNA test now. Girl best friend's parents found out what she did, and let's just say it's not going well. I told best friend's husband everything. He didn't believe me at first, but after I started showing him all the texts and photos, he just broke down. He kicked her out, and she showed up with her crap, thinking I'd let her move in. Long story short, I had to call the cops to get her off my property. I haven't kept in contact with the boss, honestly. He bought me a few gifts, but I politely told him no. He was pretty nice about being rejected and told me it was worth a shot. LMAO. At least he took the rejection.
Yeah.
My family found out shortly after I made the post. My Reddit post was blasted all over TikTok, and my sister actually sent it to me talking about how wild it was, and I had to come clean with her, lol. I have found out many things since the process began. My husband was the butt of the office, being passed around by all of his female coworkers. Do you know how many apologies I've received? I'll be set for on a lifetime. Apologies. Oh my God. But seriously, why does an office have that much spicy sleep? Now, once the divorce is finalized, I'm selling the house and moving into something smaller. I hate big houses. I always liked small spaces. I found a cute apartment that's a 1-bed, 1-bath. It'd be perfect for me and my dog. I know the divorce is going to become nasty, especially with the girl best friend being his fiance now. We've already had to get a forensic accountant involved since he's accusing me of stealing his money and wiring most of it into my bank account. That was weird. By the way, you know what is literally never weird?
What?
Going to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app, pulling up OK Storytime and listening to literally thousands of episodes with insane stories like this. If you can freaking believe it. Literally.
Wow.
Not figurative.
Mm-mm.
So do that right freaking now. But let's close this bad boy out. Other than that, I'm doing good. I actually feel relieved, and I'm going to start doing things that I loved. I'm getting back into my book club. I'm going to start exercising how I used to. I still exercise, but stopped doing it so much because he hated girls with abs.
Well, I hate him.
We hate you, Buster Brown. I'm going to be me again. Yes, exactly what you should do. I hope he becomes him again and finds happiness. Truly.
That is awfully nice of you, Opie.
Opie really has gone...
Yeah.
Over the circle. This is over full circle.
She had her Eat, Pray, Love journey.
Yeah.
She's good now.
Apparently.
She was in that Reese Witherspoon movie, Wild, where she has a divorce and then goes on a really long backpacking trip.
We got a couple quick comments to close it out. Comment number 1. So he moved in with a girl best friend, yet he's getting passed around the office like a dude. She's in for a wild ride, LMAO. And Opie replied, I feel terrible for her, actually. She doesn't know what she's getting herself into, but oh well. Hope they enjoy their little family. Comment number 2 says, I haven't read your earlier post, but it's wild how some people are trying to make you the bad guy here. That guy analogy was spot on. Either your ex thought he was some kind of ladies' man, or that office seriously has boundary issues. When you're finalizing the divorce, just remind his new fiance that he's got a history of cheating, so chances are she is not special in that department. And final comment, date the boss, god dang. He must be a nice man.
Bad idea.
Don't date the boss.
No. Let's not listen to that comment.
Don't do that.
Terrible idea.
Don't do it, man. But that's it.
Wow.
What a frickin'.
What a story. What a story. I'm pregnant and my boss is forcing me to travel.
You should make your boss pregnant.
I have been with my current employer for 5 years. I'm in England and I'm currently 21 weeks pregnant. I informed my manager at 6 weeks due to medical history and health issues. By the way, this comes from Long Jumpin' Lab 3092, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments.
Yeah.
And OP says, I travel for work, mostly to Europe and the US, and work in events. Most of my job is research and sales and marketing, with only a tiny portion involving the event itself. I have nothing to do with venues, logistics, food, or any of the stereotypical things you might think of when you think of a job in events. I'm paid commission based on sales revenue for events I have done all the research for, agenda writing, etc. Separate from this, I sometimes have to support as an extra pair of hands, which I have never been paid extra for. My manager has been fairly difficult about my inability to travel. Due to pregnancy-related medical issues, I have a note from my doctor saying I am not allowed to fly.
Do you have anything to declare?
And this voids my company travel insurance, which makes me feel very unsafe even trying to fly. Not only this, but I've been on bed rest for most of my pregnancy. She forced me to go to one event at 7 weeks pregnant, a week after I told her, telling me I would lose my £3,000 commission if I didn't go. She can't do that. I think that she legally can't do that because it's a pregnancy-related issue.
I would assume that they can't just be like, you don't get any money, you pregnant loser.
Yeah, I believe that she cannot do that. At the event, I ended up bedridden, unable to do anything, and we were short-staffed. A number of people asked her why I still went, including her manager, and she pretended she didn't know I was pregnant or ill. And that's when you go and say, hey, she did know because I told her that I wasn't allowed to go and she forced me to.
You go
Just
step
go above her.
above.
Yeah.
You make a get ready with me. You just blast this information to all places.
Because I physically went, though, I still got my commission. After that, I explicitly told HR and my manager's manager about my pregnancy and medical issues. They have been very supportive, offering me fully flexible working, completely work from home, no pressure to travel abroad, time off for appointments, etc. However, my manager has continued to be awful. She has given me grief for midwife appointments, been very inflexible over deadlines, expected me to work when hospitalized on an IV drip, and continuously asked me when I was coming back to the office. This is directly against what she's been told by HR and her manager. So we go to them again and say she's still doing it.
Lawsuit. Lawsuit.
Yes.
Lawsuit.
I have mostly rolled my eyes and left her to it. But this week there was another event for which I'd done all the work. It was pre-agreed that my colleague would cover for me on the day, and I would get the commission. I did everything I could, staying online until midnight every day to help my colleague, sending detailed notes in advance, and completing all the preparation work, research, etc. This was agreed months ago. This event was in the US. I feel extremely unsafe going to the US as a pregnant woman, especially with a high-risk pregnancy. My manager then called me on Friday saying she thinks it's unfair my colleague didn't get paid and asked me to give her £1,600 of my commission because it was unfair. No. She had to cover for me when I refused to travel. I said no. She asked again whether I would consider it. I said no.
She said, oh, wait, let me check. Oh, yeah, the same
No.
thing I said before.
Yep. I then sent her a detailed email with all the work I had done, CC in the HR and her manager, what we had agreed in advance, and said I felt it was pregnancy discrimination to penalize me or penalize me. She responded via a Teams message asking why I sent such a long email, and I said some things need to be formal and in writing. She is now saying she wants to blanket change the policy so that if people can't travel for any reason, their commission is docked.
Which she can't do because you're HR and her manager.
already said that you're good.
Our contracts say we have to travel, so in the 5 years I've been here, people have only ever not traveled for extremely serious reasons, usually severe health conditions. There is zero precedent for anyone losing commission, and this seems to be a policy she is purely pushing to introduce on the back of my pregnancy. Nobody gave any grief to my colleague who had cancer last year. I guess I need to decide whether to let this go. Should I complain? Yes. I have said nothing to HR so far, although they have reprimanded her on their own accord for things they noticed without me reporting them. Report, report, report. Should I wait and see if she actually introduces this new policy and argue about it retrospectively?
No.
No.
You're like, should I wait for all of the bad stuff to become the rule and then fight against it?
No.
No.
Should I get formal legal advice? I don't even think you need to. Literally go to your boss. Your boss's boss. Go to HR.
I think you should. I think you should, because I think a lawyer might tell you, like, exactly how to play this.
That's true. I mean, it would help, but I feel like she's just not even talking to the boss's boss or the HR anymore.
Hi, I'm Saul Goodman.
Am I actually in the wrong here? No. Or do I need to drop it? Also, no. And there are some relevant comments, but do you have any thoughts of your own?
Make this place underwater.
I am under the water. Please help me.
What?
I mean, like, make it go underwater
What?
because of how much you sue them for.
Oh, yes. Okay. Understood. Atlantis, this place. Because they are treating you unfairly and discriminating against you. That's illegal.
Most people will probably be sympathetic to pregnant women.
Yeah. Relevant comments. Maddie Matt says, hello. I am not a lawyer, but I am an events producer in London and recently had a baby. I traveled at 13 weeks EU, 26 weeks US, and 31 weeks EU. It was tough, and I declined to travel to one of my events in C at 32 weeks and received my full commission. Not traveling due to pregnancy should be a reasonable accommodation, and you need to go to HR ASAP and tell them what your manager has done. Your commission is based on the sale of your product, not just your attendance at the event. If that were the case, then our new BDM would be getting full commission on a 2 million plus show despite joining 2 weeks ago. Silly. OP says, yeah, I do production. Was trying and failing to be vague. Haha. Glad your company was nice about it. Maybe you should move there once maternity leave is over. Right. This is my issue. My colleague covered for me, but I don't think she should get commission on a £1.1 million event that she wasn't involved in until literally the day of. And I don't think it should come out of mine when I've been working on it since last September and have hit every single KPI and done everything asked of me except physically getting on a plane. Giving her something as a gesture would be nice, but frankly has nothing to do with me.
Well, is she saying that she shouldn't get paid at all? I think the girl who's stepping in
Of her commission.
I agree, it shouldn't come out of her commission, but I do think she should get paid for it. She should get some commission for
I
it.
think she would be getting paid for it, but it wouldn't be OP's commission.
I don't know if you should get commission for handling the event the day that it happens.
For
after
running an
it's-
entire event day of?
I don't think she should get commission. I think she should get paid. I think that's a separate thing.
Yeah, because commission is
Yeah.
usually, I mean,
It's
that's the
separate.
sale of setting it up
Yeah.
and
I don't
locking
think
it
she-
in.
yeah. I'm assuming she gets
could maybe
paid
get
for
paid a
working the
bonus
event. Yeah. I don't think that you should get paid for the commission of setting it up.
if she wasn't involved with the account.
Yeah. That's a conversation between her and finance, HR, literally anyone else. Yeah. If she says, hey, I need to be paid more for the work I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
then she goes and talks to their bosses, not OP.
Mhm.
Maddie Matt says, I feel like events is notorious for crappy maternity policies since we have these in-person products. A parallel you could make to HR would be, do staff who comes to run theaters or liaise with speakers, etc. on the day also get production commission since they're doing production work on site? Silly. And I really hope this gets sorted in your favor. It's pretty clear your boss has likely promised your colleague some commission and is trying to cover her butt. But her proposed policy is discriminatory since any reason is super vague and clearly aimed at you, the pregnant employee. OP says, yeah, I feel like the fact it's a policy clearly aimed at me and that had never even been talked about prior to my pregnancy makes a fairly strong case for discrimination. And top comment, winner ad, says, please make a log of every interaction you've had with your manager and file a formal complaint against her. And also include the amount of extra hours you have been working, which is usually also something that has to be signed off. Please do not put yourself at risk due to one manager causing an issue, especially when HR have been so accommodating. They cannot fire you or let you go when you have all the evidence surrounding your manager, as that would be a very easy discrimination and unfair dismissal case. To be honest, very high grounds for discrimination case anyway, so go straight to HR and raise a formal complaint and log any other bad interactions moving forward. And there is an update nearly 3 months later. And do you have any thoughts before we jump in?
Yeah, I don't know. It's all the same stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
You're going to win. You're pregnant.
You're pregnant. And literally your boss's boss agrees with you. HR agrees with you. You're fine. Update nearly 3 months later. I am now 8 months pregnant, and maternity leave will be starting next month. So almost done with all the work drama. I took everyone's advice and spoke to HR and upper management, which I was super worried about doing. They were actually extremely supportive. I told them I wanted to create as little friction as possible, so I framed it as wanting a resolution before the issues escalated further, rather than it being a formal complaint. I think HR and upper management were worried about me turning it into a formal complaint, as they pretty much agreed to everything I asked, including giving me confirmation in writing that none of my commission would be withheld as a result of me being unable to travel while pregnant. They said it would be halved while I'm actually on maternity leave, which is fair enough as I won't be working. They also put together a helpful document for my manager on how to speak to and support pregnant employees, because she clearly doesn't know how to do that.
This is true.
She's pretty bad at it. But framed it as something coming from them to support her rather than as me making a formal complaint and her being told off. Things included guidance like, if your employee's hospitalized and on a drip, maybe, just maybe, give them the day off work. I had to go to upper management about her again last week, sadly. I'd planned to come in to say goodbye to everyone before my maternity leave started, as I'm fully work from home for these last few weeks, as agreed with HR. I've been there almost 6 years, so it would have been sad to leave without saying goodbye. We had a social plan for that afternoon, so I wanted to swing by for a bit. However, I wasn't well enough to make it in for 9 a.m., and she basically told me that if I could only come in for lunchtime, not to bother at all, because upper management will not be happy with that. Why are you lying? You're the only one upset.
Why you always lying?
What do you have against pregnant people having babies?
And what do you have against us? Because why aren't you listening to full episodes of stories just like this? Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. What do you have against us?
Why do you hate us?
But there is a wee little bit left to this story.
Oh.
Do you have any final thoughts about this crazy manager?
I would just keep documenting everything she's doing, and boy, oh boy, is it going to be fun to get the settlement for this discrimination lawsuit.
Yeah, I think you just tell the managers and HR, if she keeps doing this, I will have to take other action if this is not addressed. But there is a little bit left to the story. I contacted upper management directly and asked whether it would be an issue for me to just come in at lunch. They said it wasn't an issue at all, and that of course I should have the opportunity to say goodbye. My manager is now fuming that I went over her head and got her told off, but oh well. Anyway, I thought people would appreciate the update that HR and senior management aren't always monsters. They were actually very supportive and have been throughout my pregnancy. I'm sure they had ulterior motives in not wanting a pregnant woman to cause them a lawsuit or bad press, but fine. And that's the end of that story, folks. But good luck, OP. And I hope that your pregnancy goes well and that your baby is cool.
Sounds like you fumbled the bag, not even kidding.
Yeah, it could have gotten so
Sounds
much
like
better.
if you would have gone to a lawyer, your lawyer would have told you exactly how to move, and you would have ended up getting a settlement. But maybe you're just not that kind of person.
Yeah, I think
It
also
would have put the
OP's
company at risk.
Yeah, I think OP's been
people's
there for 6
livelihoods.
years. Likes the people that she works with besides this manager. But that's the end of that story, folks. And we've got another one coming right up. I hooked up with my boss. Now I feel like my career is at risk. Well, I'm not going to lie. It might be. Last November, I abruptly changed my career plans and my life by extension. I had been working in sales and PM for a while and decided I would put my law degree to use. I moved to a new big city and began working at a small law firm as an intern. By the way, this comes from adpurple3515. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, it's just 2 attorneys and me. I have been making decent money and the office environment is amazing. It was the best decision I have ever made. The owner of the firm is just 31 years old, but he's incredibly talented and knowledgeable. I love learning from him and he loves teaching me. Ever since I got there, I developed an enormous crush on him. I have never acted on it, and he has always been beyond respectful. We are a great team, but now we have become close friends. Both my partners love him, and he has come many times over to my house to have a couple of drinks with my friends. We've also had some trips out of town, and it's always been kept on the professional side of things. I decided to ignore my crush on him, hoping it would just go away. Both my partners tease me about how in love I am with him and how much I fantasize about him. I'm assuming OP is in a poly relationship.
I think that's the case.
Yes. We have talked about how they feel regarding me and my strong inclinations for him. They advised I should never act on it because it's just a whole ethical mess I don't have the time or space in my life currently to worry about. One of my partners, my nesting partner, I don't know what that means, recently has been struggling with jealousy and insecurities regarding me and other people I date. Mostly due to the fact that I'm currently work 2 jobs and I am barely ever at home. And whatever little time I have available, I doze off because I'm just tired all the time. We have been struggling the most this past month. We've been fighting and arguing more than we ever had. I decided to stop dating other people while my nesting partner and I work out these issues. Until this past Friday.
Dun dun dun.
My nesting partner leaves town pretty often, and I take advantage of those days to meet with friends and do activities he would not like to do with me. This past Friday, I decided to work late since my partner had just left town, and I did not want to be alone at home just watching TV. We have been swamped with work at the firm, and we had a couple of things left behind. My boss decided to stay late too. The other attorney had just left, and he asked me if I wanted to go play pool at a bar close by the office. When we were heading to the bar, he asked me if I had any plans, and I said that I would have been playing board games with a friend, but they left town as well. He then looked at me and asked if I would rather play board games at my house instead of going to the bar.
Ooh.
We all know what board games means.
Yeah.
We all know what he wants. Oh, I've just dropped the phone.
Let's play board games
Yeah.
at your house. Wink,
Ooh,
wink.
wink, wink.
This is before Netflix ever existed. So
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
board games and chill.
Yeah.
That was fine. My boss had been to my house before, and we have been completely alone drinking, and nothing has ever happened. So I said yes. We got home and started having so much fun. I defeated him in every one of the games we played. We talked about law school, some of the cases and clients we have at the firm, our love life, our spicy sleep life, and so on and so forth. He is pretty open-minded, and he actually listens very attentively when I share about my polyamorous lifestyle. Yeah. He seems quite interested all the time. I wonder why. He's
Right.
like, please tell me more about your relationship where you're allowed to see other people.
Right. What are your exact boundaries?
Yeah.
Are coworkers and possibly bosses involved?
Are they okay? Let's talk about that.
Hmm.
It got pretty late and he had ordered his Uber and it was on its way. When he was picking up his stuff and I was being silly, all of a sudden I tripped. Yeah, you just tripped and he caught me. We stared into each other's eyes and almost by inertia, we just started making out.
Oh my gosh.
He asked if he should cancel his Uber and I said yes.
Oh my
Duh. I
gosh.
doubt he even ordered it.
Yeah.
We kept going and we had a lot of pretty amazing spicy sleep. He spent the night and we woke up pretty hungover. I had to go to work at my other job and he left. We have not talked about it ever since and I will not see him until Tuesday. I will not see my partners until tomorrow, Monday. I know one of them might take it well, but I'm just not sure how my nesting partner will process this information. I'm thinking they'll have a lot of questions I do not have the answers for because I have not actually talked about it with my boss. I also feel like my relationship with my nesting partner is currently so fragile. I have no idea how this could affect our relationship. They see my boss as family, and he kind of is, since he's my brother-in-law's best friend. Girl, boss and brother-in-law's best friend, you're messy.
This is a very small town.
And he is incredibly involved in my closest circle where I currently live in. I have asked many of my friends, all monogamous, what to do, and they all said I messed up by sleeping with my boss, that I should never do it again, and that I should definitely not tell my parents. I'm looking for advice on how to tell them, or if I should just not tell them, since it's just going to ruin my boss's relationship with my inner circles. I'm spiraling. I like my boss a lot, and he said he really liked me too. I feel like I have not had enough of that relationship. I cannot wait for it to happen again, but maybe it's a very stupid idea, and I should grow up and just learn to use my willpower. What do you all think? And there is an update, but Angie, what do you think?
I don't really know because,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it seems like you're already pretty in touch with your willpower. I mean, if you've, I guess, like,
I think first of all,
yeah,
your friends are wrong.
yeah.
You should absolutely tell your partners.
Oh, I totally missed that part.
Yeah, they
Yes, you
literally
should.
said my monogamous friend said I messed up and should not tell my partners and should never do it again.
Oh my God, I wonder if they've ever cheated.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, what do you mean I shouldn't tell my partners that
Yeah.
I had a relationship with someone else?
Yeah.
Like even if that is within the boundaries of, what's okay in our relaship,
Uh-huh.
I'm presumably you still have to communicate with them, like those
Yeah.
other relationships that you're having,
Yeah.
especially if OP thinks that one of them would not take it well.
Yes.
Absolutely need to tell them.
100%.
Regardless of whether or not you think they'll take it well, they have
Yeah.
a right to know.
I totally agree. I think, yeah, talk to them.
Yeah.
Talk to this boss about it. Be like,
Yeah.
hey, was this just like a one-time thing? Are you
Do you want to do this
doing
again?
more?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
absolutely.
then in that case, like, it's going to bring up all of these other issues,
Mhm.
and complications in our circles. So,
Yeah, I
know.
think talk to your partners first.
yeah,
Talk to boss second.
Yep.
Figure it out.
figure it out.
I don't think it necessarily has to be a one-time thing, but you have to get on the same page with your partners.
Exactly.
Update. I feel like I need to make a couple of things clear. I practice something more similar to relational anarchy. I have 2 romantic partners. One I'm married to.
Okay.
He lives in another city, but I see him every other week. And the one I live with, my nesting partner, but he leaves town very often.
I see.
Interesting.
I know, learning so many
The
new
one you
things.
live with is not the one you're married to?
Guess so.
Okay. My nesting
Interesting.
partner and I have been struggling mostly with issues like jealousy and insecurities regarding dating other people, mostly because of my current time availability as well as other factors. I made a unilateral decision to stop dating new people, and I am planning on sticking to that until things chill. I have spoken with both of them. My spouse took it quite chill. He was mostly a bit concerned by the professional implications, as well as the fact that my boss is close to my family. My nesting partner did not take it as well. It was a hard pill to swallow. We are working through it, and I'm making all sorts of arrangements to ensure we get through it. My boss was the least of my concerns. However, he has become the main reason for my spiraling now. I do not work at a big corporate firm. There are no company policies nor other bosses, etc. He's the owner, and it's just 3 of us in total, including him. I guess I was not initially concerned about him being my boss, considering the team or the company. I was mostly worried about the power dynamic, which I was right about. I knew that he was a pretty chill guy, he dates around, and he's also very into casual, spicy sleep. However, this feels like it was a lot more intimate than casual, spicy sleep. We did share some pretty corny moments, and today he arrived at the office around 1:30 p.m. We usually all get there at 9:30 a.m. He got there and remained in his office and did not talk to me at all. He sent the other attorney with my favorite cookies. He never used to do that, but at least he talked to me. I'm deciding not to pursue this relationship, and as soon as I gather some courage, I will talk to my boss and let him know this is not happening again. I do feel a weird morning, though. He is someone I have been developing feelings for over 3 months. We have shared some pretty intimate moments and we have become friends. This entire time, I convinced myself he did not like me at all. Learning he likes me too, he admires me too, as well as he is attracted to me too, was just too wonderful. Knowing now that he has been struggling with his feelings and that we were both just too nervous to be around each other made it flare up. It did not even start, and I have to be smart about it and say goodbye. As long as he'll have me, I'll stay as an attorney at the firm. However, no more friendship nor spicy sleep. I feel like no more friendship.
Can't even be friends.
Come on.
You still work together?
Yeah. After experiencing the levels of anxiety I did this weekend, I learned this emotional hangover is just not worth it. Thank you all for your advice. And there is a second update.
Oh boy.
It's been a while, so I'll update a couple of things. First, back then I kept seeing him and the partner I lived with was not happy about it, so I broke it off with my boss. After that, my partner felt so guilty, he basically gave us his blessing, and if that is a thing. So we got back together, but are taking it insanely slow. That I was expecting. I was like, there's no way that they're just going to cut this off cold turkey.
Right. It's not going to last.
Nah, I didn't buy it. Second, my nesting partner started dating someone else and became a lot more chill about me dating my boss.
Ah.
Well, there we go.
Well, yeah.
Just needed more people. Third, I became a partner at our law firm and now am a fully associated attorney, so my boss is no longer my boss. Fourth, I fell in love with my boss, though I'll keep calling him that for the purpose of my language economy. By the way, I would love if you listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
I mean, okay.
It all worked out. Yeah.
I'm not like the most happy about the only reason that the nesting partner was like okay with the boss was because they started dating someone.
Yeah.
I don't love that, especially since they're already in a poly relationship. Like the partner seemed to be a little bit like possessive or jealous. Yeah. And then of course now that they've got their own thing going, then they're not anymore. But that's a different issue.
That's a different issue.
I like how the original issue of this story is panning out.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting together. They talked about it clearly.
Yep.
Seems like
falling in love.
Falling in love. Ooh. Pretty good. I have grown to know a gorgeous human being who is not only fun and cool to hang out with, but over the course of 4 months has shown he is a caring and loving person. He has been with me through so much, comforted me, and sustained me in ways I really would have never expected. We have talked about our feelings, and he has confessed that although it was really not what he planned, he has fallen crazy in love with me too.
Wow.
Our relationship has become one of the safest places I have now at my disposal, and I want to tell him I love him because I do. I love him. I wanted to come here and ask, how have you known you love someone? When do you know it's right to tell them? I am Mexican. Here we have te quiero, which is a nice endearment, but then it is te amo, which is the ultimate form of communicating deep and strong feelings. I would love to hear from everyone on how they go about their feelings and when you know it's the right time to tell someone you love them.
Oh, wow. What do you think?
I don't have an answer for that.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Usually the other person says it first. Yeah. And I'm like, well, let me think about that for a second.
Yeah, when someone else says it to you, I don't know.
Right? Usually, the
I think
3-month mark is like around the time.
I think
for
you
me,
keep it in and don't say it until they say it. I think that's right.
Yeah,
that's probably how you do it.
Probably.
I'm sorry, I don't have advice for you on that.
Let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah, when you did it.
Yeah.
But that's the end of that story. My boyfriend's coworker is in love with him and enraged at me. And this comes directly from the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So OP says, me and my boyfriend, female 24 and male 25, have been together for almost 4 years. We met and fell in love young and have what I would consider a 1 in a million connection. We are basically obsessed with each other. We are best friends who happen to be raising a few cats and lizards together to practice for our first child we plan on having within the next few years.
That is adorable.
By the way, this comes from Outrageous Claim 32, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, We are sappy and annoying and blah, blah, blah. He's planning on proposing in 2025. I've seen bake statements of him paying off the ring, and he asked my sister for permission to marry me since I don't have any parents anymore.
Aw.
Oh, we're both kind of limited in our friendships. I have a few friends I see sometimes, and so does he, but mostly we just want to be alone together playing video games or whatever. Him especially. He very rarely sees any of his friends. He has maybe 3. And he sees each of them maybe once a year. And he likes it that way. I try to encourage him to go out whenever there's an opportunity because having separation is healthy. But according to his family, he has always found it hard to connect with others and just prefers to be alone until he met me. Now he just wants to be alone with me. One of his friends is not my favorite person.
Uh-oh.
I won't go into details because it's not my choice who he connects with, and honestly, I'm just glad he connects with someone enough to consider them a friend. He's male 26, openly bi, which never really meant anything to me until recently, because I'm also bi, and I know firsthand that it doesn't define you as a person and shouldn't be the first thing you think of a person. Anyway, he and my boyfriend went to school together in the 4th grade, but they weren't friends until over 10 years later when they happened to get the same job. They were work friends but never hung out outside of work until I encouraged my boyfriend to accept his invitation to hang out. It never happened again, and every time he was asked to hang out again, my boyfriend would insist that I join them. It was very clear from the second I met him that he didn't like me. For almost 4 years, I have completely ignored his obvious distaste of me, and have still encouraged my boyfriend to hang out with him and talk to him. I'm confident in my place in life, and if his friend could somehow make my boyfriend not like me, then he's not the one for me. My boyfriend has also ignored that his friend doesn't like me. He just kind of changes the subject or doesn't engage and moves on, which he doesn't have to do often because he doesn't talk to him any more than 3 times a year anyway. The other day, his friend called my boyfriend at around midnight. He answered and told him that I was there and that he was on speaker. He said hi and then talked about how miserable he was to be alone in life. He talked about how he just fills the void in his life with mindless, spicy sleep and booze, and was happy to see him happy, but hated that it was because of me. Then he finally admitted it out loud. He said that he hated me when we first met, that I seemed like a witch, and that he didn't think I was right for my boyfriend. My boyfriend and I just stayed completely silent, stunned.
Oh, he wants your boyfriend.
That's pretty obvious.
Or he wants you. Not really sure here, but he wants what you guys have.
I'll take the
I
latter
think
there.
He wants the boyfriend.
That's crazy. Hey, by the way, that guy you've been seeing, actually, I hate that guy. He's like the worst. He smells. He always eats
Yeah,
tuna.
that would be pretty awful if you're like close, right? His only close friend is like, I hate your boyfriend and
Like-
I'm in love with you.
Like, how do you even in front of both of them, not just to the partner?
Well, I don't think he knew that OP was on the line.
got it.
To be clear, I think OP. He said he called at midnight,
Got it.
and the boyfriend put it on speaker.
Okay. Yeah, I would never have the balls to say that. Dude, that is whackle doodle do. What is he trying to get out of this though? That's what I'm also thinking.
OP's boyfriend. He continued to talk, saying he gets that he chose me, and that he has grown to not hate me, just dislike me, and that I only matter as much as my boyfriend likes me, that when we break up, I'll be completely passed away to him, and he will go back to hating me for wasting my boyfriend's time. That was incredibly rude, but also strange. The way he worded it just seemed odd, like he was possessive of my boyfriend. Yes, he's in love with your boyfriend.
And he wants him.
He's in love with your
wanted him
boyfriend.
forever. Does your boyfriend even like this guy? That's my
I
question.
don't know. It seems like he's the only
Or
friend.
does he like this guy?
I try to brush it off as drunken rambling, but today it all clicked for me. See, I got a job at the same company that my boyfriend is in, but in a different department. I was in the break room with my coworker, and we were sharing pictures of our partners and talking about how much we love them when my boyfriend's friend came and sat with us. My coworker asked how long we were together, and when I told her, he chimed in with, "Yeah, but I've known him longer."
Oh, dude, I've had this happen to me. And other friends where I'm friends with the chick,
Yeah.
but I'm dating someone else, but she's like, oh, I know him longer. I've known him for so much longer. What they're trying to do
Establish
is
dominance.
establish dominance, and then also try to get the person that they're like, oh, I've known them longer. Like, she's trying to get me to like her, so then I'll break up with my girl and then come crawling to her.
Mhm.
Oh, dude, I've seen it happen so many times.
Not good. But then remember, they went to the same school years ago when they were 8 to 9, and they have both said that they never even spoke then. My boyfriend knew him as a coworker for about a year before we met, so I tried to assume that's what he meant. I continued the conversation with my coworker, showing my favorite picture of my boyfriend, and said, OMG, I just think he's the absolute cutest person in the world. His friend chimed in again and said, I happen to agree, but he was cuter as a kid, though. Ew?
What kind of comment is that?
What does that mean?
It's a weird
He
comment.
grew up ugly? Just to nail in that he knew him when he was a kid. All I could think to say was, then I guess I'll have to make a mini version and see for myself.
I like that.
They're going to have intercourse and have children. They're going to do it and pop out and poop out puppies.
Ew. For the rest of the conversation, he mentioned 2 more times that he knew him longer than me and that he knew him as a kid. When we got back to our station, my coworker said, I think that guy's in love with your man. I think you'd be right, coworker. I think you'd be right. It was that moment that I remembered that he was bi and that this was an actual explanation for all of the weirdness over the past few years.
So
Wait,
you
I'm
should
sorry.
judge people by that.
You didn't realize?
You should always hold that against people that are bi and always keep that in mind.
I'm waving the sarcasm flag. I'm sorry, you didn't realize after he called your boyfriend at midnight that this guy was in love with your boyfriend?
Yeah, I didn't like.
We didn't
I
put 2 and
kind
2
of thought
together?
it, but
Yeah, I get calls from my friends after midnight. That's okay.
but he never answers.
After midnight.
When have you called me?
You know when I.
No.
Yeah.
No, don't throw me under an imaginary bus here.
I've called you so many times after midnight. You don't even answer anymore.
Anyway.
That's wild.
Look at the TLDR.
I've known him longer. He's trying to like pee on your boyfriend's leg. Come on. The TLDR is wild. Sophia and
that's not
Riley share a
even-
deep bond, raising pets in preparation for having a child. Riley values solitude, but cherishes his connection with Sophia.
What was this based off of?
I guess we said our names earlier.
But it's not even this. It's not even the story.
Yeah, huh? He wants solitude, but he likes OP.
No.
They want kids.
I guess that was the beginning of the story. I
It was,
forgot
yeah.
that it was relevant. He's been doing this to me for as long as I've known him, undermining my relationship whenever he can by reminding me that he knows him better because they went to the same school when they were 9.
We guys literally never even talked, and then you guys became friends as coworkers at the same company you're at now.
Right now, I just feel a bit bad for him. My boyfriend is straight, and even if he wasn't, he's still my man. If he wanted to be with him, he had a year to have done so before I came into the picture. My boyfriend has barely shown interest in this guy as a friend. Oh, this is his only friend, and he barely shows interest in him? He's got to find new friends.
Time to find another only friend.
So it must really suck to see him happy with a woman, let alone a woman so different from himself. As someone in love with my boyfriend, I get it. I completely understand that falling in love with him is impossible to avoid and even more impossible to shake. I feel so bad to have hurt this guy, but I can't help it. I'm not going anywhere. I talked to my boyfriend about it, and he said he can see it as a possibility in theory, but said if it was true, it wouldn't change anything. That he'd have to get over it because he isn't attracted to him or any man, and if he was, he'd choose me every time. It's like, even if I was attracted, man, I'd choose you.
That's love.
I want our kids to have your heart. Aw. God, I love him so much. I don't know how to navigate this. We work together and I see him pretty often. I don't like having to put up with him walking around and acting as if we're in competition because there's no competition to be had. It's been 4 years and he still won't let it go. And I won't let you go because you got to join us and listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search a Bokeh Storytime.
No, Sophia, you love us.
I
Let us
won't
go.
let you go.
No, let me go.
I won't let you
me
go.
go. It's okay, Jack.
I won't let you go.
It's okay, Jack.
Okay.
I won't
Only
go.
reasonable thing here to do. Fake some sort of accident where this guy will have to get fired because he was responsible for it.
Oh, whoa.
We got to get rid of him at work because that's the only place we see him. And then the boyfriend will be like, ew, I can't believe he would do that. And then boom.
I think you just have a conversation with your boyfriend and say,
You do?
hey, this guy's making me go. Yeah, I know. I feel like that's good.
And then I think you should have your boyfriend talk to this guy and be like, hey, I
and then
don't
if
love
he doesn't
you.
step off,
Oh,
then it's like, okay, well, I guess we can't be friends with him.
More. I need more. I need this guy to get fired. I don't want to ever see his face again. Really? He should get fired, Sophia.
I don't know how you, but he hasn't done anything bad at his job.
Yeah, huh?
Makes OP feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
spreading lies.
Makes it a
cool.
competition.
And peeing everywhere.
Yeah. If your partner's not like a little puppy when you get home and they pee a little on the floor, if your partner doesn't do that,
What?
is that really your partner?
What? Is Carly peeing on the floor?
No comment.
Carly, are you peeing on the floor when you see Keon whenever he gets home from work? She said yes like a golden retriever.
That's so funny.
See?
You like
Oh
literally. I just said your name and then you walked in.
Yeah, we just
Because
Carly's in the
Keon
house.
said, if your partner's not peeing on the
See?
floor a little bit, are they even your partner? And I said, is Carly peeing on the floor? And then you entered.
Yes.
That was crazy.
That's
See?
wild.
I guess your partners suck.
Like Angie.
Pee on the floor.
Call
And
Angie.
Keon doesn't. He's peeing right now because I walked in.
No, I shit on the floor. I got too excited.
Time out. We have to know this. Angie.
Hello?
Hey, you're on the
Yes,
live
sir.
stream.
Oh, hello, everyone.
Okay, so whenever you see me after like not seeing me for a whole day, do you pee your pants like a little puppy sometimes? Just because you're so excited?
No.
You hate me!
See? See?
Yes, I hung out. She hates me.
He won't let me talk about him without inserting himself. What? He brings him up if we aren't talking about him. One of my friends I confided in told me to be careful, that she's seen a Dateline thing about a man hurting the woman the man he was in love with was engaged to. When I laughed it off, she said that with his drinking and attitude toward me, I should be avoiding him.
Ugh.
I want my boyfriend to maintain his friendship, but I also don't want to be treated like this anymore. I've tried to be friendly for years and nothing has worked. What do I do? Again, if your boyfriend does not understand this is making you uncomfortable and his friend is not, good, is a bad friend, then not the best relationship. He needs to support you.
You don't need to be in a relationship where you kind of pity someone because like, oh, I guess I need a friend.
No.
You can have those relationships at group parties where you're like,
yeah,
this guy
group
needs to-
parties, but that's it. But there is comments. Comment 1 says, if you have to push your boyfriend to be friends with this dude, your boyfriend probably doesn't give a crap about the guy either way. Stop pushing the friendship. Honestly, I'd be petty and rub it in, but that's me. And that's the end of the story.
Dang.
There you
Okay,
go.
now you guys have to ask Dakota the same thing that you asked
Dakota, when you see your girlfriend, when you see,
No.
sorry,
If-
when you see Keon, do you pee a little bit?
'Cause
Like
you're
when you
so
see him
like
after,
a
a
little
long
puppy,
day?
like a little puppy, because you get so
You
excited.
smell nice.
No.
You.
I pee. What?
Do you pee a little bit when you see your girlfriend?
No. I'm a big boy. I don't pee my pants.
But it's like a puppy, not like a
Yeah,
little bit.
right. I'm a big boy. I'm not a puppy.
I'm not a puppy, Mom.
I'm fully
I'm
grown.
fully grown.
Whoever's
No.
telling you I pee my pants is a fibber.
All right.
Your girlfriend's telling
Let's
you.
call the boy.
I'm not calling the boy to ask him if he pees.
Call him.
Yeah.
No.
Can I?
I'll
I'll call him.
No. Don't
I like how both you're like, I'll call
Don't
him.
call him.
Call
You can't.
him.
No.
Call
No. Do
him.
not call him. Do not call him.
He's calling him.
Don't. Do not.
He probably won't
not-
answer. Here, I'm gonna
Don't call him. Don't call him.
Why?
Why?
Wait, Sophia, when do you see your boy,
Are you
do
gonna
you
pee?
pee a little bit?
Are you gonna be on?
Don't
All right, guys.
Call him. I don't want to pee.
We're not gonna call him because she's gonna pee on stream, guys.
Pee on this tree.
And we could see it. That's
Guys,
the,
don't
that's the
call
only
him.
reason we're not calling him.
I'm peeing my pants.
Wait, Fine says you ain't cool unless you pee your pants.
Exactly.
Don't
Dude.
do it,
Yes,
guys.
yes, the eggs.
Oh man.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's the end of that story, my
We
gang.
have- We
Ooh.
have comments.
What did you put on?
Yeah, literally nothing. What are you talking about?
You smell nice.
I'm getting the comments right now.
Ooh.
Sophia's
All
having
right.
a manic
Yep.
episode over there.
Pissing herself.
I'm being get out. Ah,
What?
get out.
I laughed so hard,
All
I
right.
pissed myself.
Hey, see?
Undead
See?
Tomlin, that's
All right.
crazy.
My boss is now dating my ex-girlfriend.
So did you guys introduce them?
Like, my ex and I broke up around 4 months ago after dating for a little over a year. She was the one who broke up with me, but at the time I agreed that it was for the best, so we ended things on good terms. We're pretty chill now, and we have mutual friends, so we often all hang out together. So things between us are chill and friendly. By the way, this comes from Throwaway A22, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit, and I'm Angie.
I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in the situation, but let us know what you would do in the comments. So, OP says, I work at a research lab at my university, and I just recently landed the position after a pretty long and competitive application/interviewing process. I met my boss, who's a grad student, and we became buddies pretty fast. He's a really nice and funny dude that knows what he's doing. I see him every day since me and the 2 other undergrads work under him and help with his research while he helps us with our own. Fast forward about 2 weeks, and I see on my ex's Snapchat story a picture of my boss with a heart emoji. Interesting.
I don't like that.
I'm shocked as F, so I reply to her story asking who her new boy is, and sure enough, she tells me she's dating my boss. Wow.
You got me.
Yeah,
Well,
right?
you got me back so good. Wow.
Dang, dude. Yeah, that's so insane. I feign happiness for her and don't tell her that he's my boss or that I know him in any way. Oh, so she doesn't know? Or it's possible that she doesn't know that this is his boss?
Oh, this is by chance.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I thought this was going to be premeditated.
Me
Like,
too.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to get you back.
That honestly, that makes it a little bit more just like, okay then.
Like, it just kind of happened.
Happens. It's going to be really awkward at work.
Right.
But not in the like, I'm mad at you awkward way kind of
Yeah. Dang, man.
Yikes.
Dang, I feel like someone just broke my heart. I thought I didn't have feelings for her after our breakup, but seeing her story hit me with a pang of jealousy. Maybe it's because he's a major step up from me. I'm a poor, disorganized undergrad, and he's a successful young talent who has his crap together. The next day at work, I'm basically on edge the whole day. I would look at my boss, remember that he's dating my ex, and just feel uncomfortable. The rest of the week was like that too. I stopped joking around with him and kind of just stopped talking in general. Now I dread seeing him every day because the fact that he's my boss, so he orders me around, just makes me feel crappier and more below him. He's got the girl, and I've got no one. I still love my job, though, and I worked so hard to get it, so I'm not planning on leaving. I also feel like a crappy person since my boss has been nothing less than nice and is honestly a great guy. Now, I just feel like I should have tried harder in our relationship because, dang, she was pretty perfect in every way, and I just let it slip through. The other day, she came over to have lunch with him during his lunch break, and I saw them laughing together, and yeah, another wave of sadness and jealousy. What do I even do now? How do I stop feeling like this? How should I normalize the situation at work? And there are some comments, but what do you think, Carly? What would you do if your ex is dating your boss?
Yeah, what would happen? What would you do?
I don't like that the implication is at this job.
Right.
What would you do?
Who's my boss?
Another boss.
I would be worried for Angie at that point.
That's right, because her boss is Riley, technically. My gosh. What should OP do?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's like you're not dealing with your ex in the workplace. You're just dealing with the person who's dating them.
Right.
So I think I'd just go to boss and I'd be like, hey, we need to have some like strict boundaries. Like, I don't want to know about my ex. I don't want to know about your plans. Like, don't tell me things. You're gonna have to go through that healing of being okay with like seeing them at events potentially.
Yeah, I mean, she came to have lunch at work,
Right.
so it's like
you're gonna have to be okay with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I also don't think it's wrong given the situation to be like, if she's gonna come for lunch a lot, can you guys eat outside? Can you guys like go out to lunch? Like, so that I'm not seeing my ex every single day,
because it's only been 4 months too.
Right. And I feel like the boss is also not gonna want her to come into the office
like
where her ex is every day.
Right.
So I feel like it's gonna be like a lot of this is probably gonna solve itself kind of thing, because it's gonna be like both parties don't want her to be like dealing with them kind of thing.
Yeah,
if that
exactly
makes any sense.
Yeah, I feel like no, yeah, I totally agree. It's just so hard because it's like you already have to go through that idea of like your ex dating someone else when you break up, but it's also kind of like seeing it and then knowing the new guy personally.
I'm trying to think.
So
of,
rough.
Like, yeah. I'm trying to think of even like any friend groups where I've had that weird overlap. Like, I feel like eventually somehow like someone just falls off of the equation, so you're not dealing with it as much kind of thing.
Right.
If my ex came in and was dating Riley, that would be very interesting, because we'd find out two people were not straight very quickly.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, that's just that's a bummer, dude. You're just getting thrown into the deep end of the healing process, and it might just have to deal with that. Sorry, man. But there are some comments. Deleted says it means you have to start dating again and focusing on your stuff. The fact you are jealous is because you believe they are doing better than you do at this moment. When you start dating again, if your ex-girl still has feelings for you, she would be the one at your position right now. Opie says, yeah, that it's pretty close to home. Killer Queen 5 says, he is not a step up from you. I need you to know that people aren't ranked. He is just a person with achievements and failures and flaws just like you. He's young and maybe not an effective manager. You said he orders you around, but try not to take it personally. He sees you as a friend, coworker, subordinate, threat to his relationship, and also probably feels a bit awkward about the situation. As another poster mentioned, he's dating someone significantly younger. When I was 24, my friends and I would definitely make fun of guys who dated 19-year-olds. There's just a huge maturity difference at that age, especially for girls. She's not perfect either, and it turns out you weren't right for each other. Yeah, do we know their ages? I don't think I said their ages in here.
I can
don't
double
remember
check.
ages.
Yeah.
Yeah, something about 19 and 24, I guess. Perhaps. But
How long they date?
a little over a year. But
At 19 and 24?
I think
No,
OP
no.
and the girl are the same age, I'm pretty sure. And then the boss maybe is a little older. I don't know.
They were dating for over a year, little over a year.
Who's 19?
No, they were just, it was like a thing of like, oh, when
Like-
we were 24 and someone was dating a 19-year-old, we would make fun of them kind of
The
thing.
commenter mentioned something about age difference, but we don't know their ages.
We don't know their ages as of right now. Yeah, no
Okay.
ages as of right now.
Yeah, weird. Okay. I mean, OP said that like the boss is young, so I'm assuming like it's not like that crazy of an age difference.
Right.
But if it is 24 to 19, I would make fun of him. And I would think that that's a little sketch. But I whatever. Don't try to be his best bud, but try your best to forgive him and move on. Focus on your work and yourself. You worked so hard to get this job, and it sounds like a great thing that you have on your resume. It will only make you miserable to dwell on it. And we do have an update. But yeah, I feel like the whole boss thing, it definitely isn't personal having like a boss you around. It's like that's just kind of what's gonna happen.
Right. I could totally see though that it could get personal. Like
Yeah.
you could feel like it was personal
Sure.
when it's not.
I
kinda
wonder. Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to
Or
cut you off.
no, you're good. Or like the boss could kind of take that power a little bit, and it could
Right.
get personal.
Yeah, I would be wary of the boss getting like jealous or something, and we
The
can close
heavens
this
are
curtain
taking
here.
Angie away.
Ah. But yeah, I feel like with, I wonder if you could talk to your ex about it and be like, hey, like, this is just really awkward. Do you mind, like, not coming over to the workplace? Or, like depending on how, I mean, he
Yeah.
said that they kind of hang out because of mutual friends and stuff. So maybe
If it's
he's
that
able
cool,
to.
then either way, like a conversation amongst the parties involved
Yeah.
needs to just be like laid out, and then
Yeah.
I feel like it'll be fine.
Yeah, I
As
agree.
long as no one gets like power to their heads. we're
Right, like
good.
hopefully the new guy doesn't get jealous and starts,
Right.
getting wasted on power. But we do have an update. For the past week, I've been trying to focus on myself and my work and not care about my ex and my boss who's dating her. It worked pretty well. I started a painting and I'm pretty close to finishing it, and I impressed my boss's boss, the professor who owns the lab, not the one dating my ex, by staying late for 2 days in a row to finish a really difficult experiment. During our lab meeting, my boss's boss shouted me out in front of the entire lab and said that he was really impressed by my hard work and dedication. Look at you go! That felt good. As for the situation with my boss and my ex, he found out. Like I mentioned in my previous post, when my ex told me who her new boyfriend was, I didn't mention that he was my boss, so neither of them knew. 2 days ago, my boss and us, 2 other undergrads, were in a conference room discussing a paper when my ex came in. She came to drop off my boss's wallet that I think he forgot or something. Anyway, she saw me, did a double take, and went, Jake?
Jake?
She was definitely super surprised and caught off guard, and her boss was already like, what the F? So I was just like, hey, Sarah. She shot me another shocked, wide-eyed look and left. Suffice to say, the rest of the meeting was pretty awkward. The next day, it was obvious that my boss now knew our history. Things just turned so awkward. He didn't know how to act around me anymore or what to say. Now we're both awkward around each other. He's still nice and all, but things are just uncomfortable between us two. It's not his fault, though. I think things will get better between the two of us, but as of right now, I actually feel kind of relieved that he now knows. Something about how both of us now don't know how to act and what to do kind of makes me feel reassured. And I can reassure you that we have full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. And there is actually quite a chunk left of this story, but okay, they both know now. That's where we're at.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, you're good.
They both know.
They both know. I wonder if they can have a conversation about like how to act around each other. Just
I feel like
that helps so much when people don't know how to act. Just be like, can act like everything's normal.
Right.
It's okay.
What do you
want
want
to
do?
Is what it is.
Yeah.
We can just
We could be adults
totally
here,
good.
right? We're all adults. We're all mature.
Yeah. Because
It seems like they are. Seems like we can be.
Because I think the awkwardness just comes from like not knowing how the other person sees the situation.
Right.
Like if OP is jealous or upset about it, or if, you know, the boss is threatened or something like that. Like they don't know, so they don't want to like ruffle any feathers or anything like that. But just have a small 2-sentence conversation about it and you're good.
Lay it all out real quick.
Yeah. But there is quite a bit more. Sarah also called me the night she found out I worked there, but I missed her call and forgot to call back. It's good though. I've been trying to think of her less and distance myself a bit. But if things continue to remain really awkward to the point where both of our work is affected, I'll consider talking to my boss's boss about switching me to work under another grad student instead. But yeah, that's about all. Again, thanks for the help, you guys. And there are some comments. Let me see which ones are good. Okay. One commenter says, I'm actually sort of glad you didn't answer your ex's phone call or return it. I cannot imagine for the life of me any usefulness to that conversation. I mean, did she not know anything about the department you were in at school or the likelihood of seeing you if she kept her dating pool there? In my humble opinion, you really demonstrated an ability to be above drama by not immediately telling your boss or Sarah about your previous work/romantic relationship. And I'm super stoked that instead you just focused on work and got praised by your boss's boss. Good for you. OP says, actually, me too. We're still friends and all, but I think I really need to put some distance between us and focus on myself for now. I'm glad I missed the call too. I applied for the job after we broke up and never mentioned it to her, so I guess she never found out. Thanks for the support. That's good clarification.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense then.
Yeah. Observant Barracuda says, you should clear up the awkwardness at work. Go to your boss and tell him, I guess you know that Sarah and I dated. I hope that won't affect our working relationship. OP says, I thought about doing that too, but it's been only a day since he found out, so I'll give it some time. But if it gets worse over the next week, I'll consider it.
I would do that.
Yeah.
Don't like wait and consider this. I would make that a plan, and I would make that by the end of the week.
Yeah, I think it's totally fine to do it
It's
sooner
weirder
than
to
later.
sit on it.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully that's what OP did. But yeah, I feel like if you just say it to like, yeah, we dated,
so
but like we ended on
casually.
good terms.
Right.
So like, don't even worry about it.
No hard feelings, man.
Yeah, it's been like a few months, so you're good. Tame Voli says, if anything, your boss probably feels embarrassed that he's dating the girl that his 19-year-old subordinate dated. That probably feels slightly emasculating to him if he enjoyed feeling powerful over you. The he has got your leftovers mentality, if you will. Ew. Sounds like you're crushing it and doing everything right. Keep the positive attitude and hard work. Thanks for the update. OP says, oh dang, I never thought about it that way, but that makes sense. But the dude's a nice guy and I don't want to hate on him. But yeah, I honestly don't even know how they met and got together, haha. Undergrads are usually pretty separated from all the grad students at our school. And thank you. Bar Soap Guy says OP should bring in some food that he made from the night before and then offer it to his boss, saying, hey, I heard you like leftovers. Want to try this? Ew.
I think that's supposed to be a joke, but don't.
I hate it.
Bad joke on an advice website.
Yeah. OP says, LMAO, that would be so funny. No, it wouldn't.
No,
Would not, because
talking about our feelings like adults would be so cool and so chill and so great.
put yourself in your boss's shoes. Not funny.
I'd be like, okay, HR,
honestly,
what the heck?
Also, not a fan of calling girls leftovers if they've just dated someone else before.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Get over yourself, commenter.
Yeah. Stinkerbell says, I'm glad you're doing better, but if he's working at the university which you and your ex attend, then it is 100% his fault that he's running into awkward social situations when he dates undergrads. Even if she isn't a student, she's 19. So I guess we do have their ages.
Okay.
They're 19. I think the guy must be 24. Yeah.
And they dated for a year.
Not the 24 and 19-year-olds. OP and
OP's not
and the
24.
girlfriend are 19.
Boss is 24.
But, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought OP was the 24.
Yeah, so they're working at the like school lab, so I'm guessing like the 24-year-old used to go to that school and then is like a boss there now or something, or
They
maybe
did
getting
sound
his
like
master's.
They're both a bit older though.
The OP
I know.
and
Wait. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
We're getting our info from other commentaries.
Doesn't matter.
Who does he think she socializes with at that age? Only professors and researchers? OP says, thanks. He's actually a second-year grad student at the same university and just works as a researcher at my lab. I have no idea how they got together, though. My guess is dating apps. I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
It sounded like OP was so far out of college already from the
Oh,
I
you
work
think?
at a lab that I was like, are you older?
Oh,
and you're
no.
making
He
fun
said,
of him?
yeah, no, he said
But
the
then-
lab at the
yeah.
university. Yeah.
Right.
But that's the end of that story.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like
Honestly, from what we thought the title was gonna be about, though, like
Yeah.
way easier situation.
honestly, like it really did seem like
Yeah.
it was like a sabotage or revenge type thing.
Right.
But yeah, this seems just like a awkward accident.
Did we get a location? Were they in the U.S.? They were saying
No.
university, right?
Yeah, they said
So it could
university,
be-
so could be
Yeah.
anywhere. But not sure. But that's the end of that story. We've got another one coming right up.
Woo.
I have a crush on my coworker, and I want to confess to his wife.
Don't do that.
I, 27 female, would come here for this. I have this coworker, 28 male, and I like him. Why? Because he doesn't wear a ring at work, and I didn't know until I already liked him. By the way, this comes from user longjumpingjelly849. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I am Dakota.
I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
And we are collectively here to give good advice goofily. And we don't have all the answers to life's problems. We just know what we would do as a couple of meatballs. So let us know what you would do in the comments. I've been at this job about 2 years. I'm one of the newest hires in my department. Most of the older hires knew as much, as a matter of fact. I'm guessing this is the point of those dumb Christmas parties that seem outdated and boring. It's to see if your coworkers bring wives. I want to state now that I have serious issues with cheating. Huge no. That is the core of my issue. I had been working closely with this guy for the last 2 years and felt like we really connected. And he flirted with me, but he could just be friendly and I was being delusional. No way to be sure. And thus I started to develop feelings. I'd normally shoot my shot around my crush, but I've been insecure about 10 to 15 pounds of weight gain since the vid, so I've been a little more reserved. Still flirting, but not as bold. This man has a wife. I found out last week that he had a wife. How? She brought him lunch. Crazy simple, right? He forgot his lunch. I asked another coworker, and they said that was his wife, so matter-of-factly. I've been flirty with this guy for almost 2 years, and no one said anything, which is the point. I thought maybe him flirting back might have been my delusion. I'm mad because I'd rather he be standoffish or show clear distancing, so I could have taken the hint early and we wouldn't be here. I really like him, and I want to get over it so that past tense becomes my reality. Oh, for context, we're both in our late 20s, trying to be vague on purpose. So, the kind of person I am, I will not get over this crush until I get it off my chest. I haven't had a genuine crush in a good amount of years. I don't like people easily, but I don't want to have feelings for a married man. Not only is this cliche, I'm not turning into my worst nightmare this late in life. I've never tolerated cheating, been around cheaters, and almost being 30 is late in deciding to be an awful human being. At first, I was just going to default to my normal self and decide to just tell him I like him, but I know he's married and I'm not trying to blow up his life. I just wanted closure so I could move on. Innocent enough. However, I've been haunted by Reddit and stupid think pieces. Plus, I'm a keen contingency thinker, so I eventually came to the reality that mentioning this could possibly make the husband turn away from his wife, or even try to be more with me, or a few slew of possibilities. OP continues. This mainly stems from how he never really put up a wall to my flirting and favoritism. Like, yeah, he's still a man and could just be that dumb, but I have a good idiot radar, and he's not on it. I have a good idiot radar, so it felt deliberate. So then I thought I could reach out to the wife and tell her my situation and ask her what she would prefer me to do. I want to leave her husband alone, but my feelings can't go away until I talk it out. Considering changing jobs, that's the nuclear option. I don't want to open her husband's eyes to the fact that I, and possibly other women, might want him if he's already morally questionable and creates issues in the marriage. I know by this point I can't expect people to think and react the way I would, which would be to ignore a random girl telling me I like her husband because I'm married. I want to be more realistic to how society is, which is why I'm here. Should I ask the wife if she'd rather I just F off and keep it to myself and harbor this crush for her husband in silence, or if she'd allow me to tell him so I can move on regardless of what he wants? Or should I just tell him and keep it pushing like the fallout has nothing to do with me? The third feels irresponsible. One more comment before posting. I've never liked someone who had someone already. Regardless of how it happened, the technicality doesn't matter. It's happening and it's new. I'm afraid that if he tries to kiss me or some crap, I'll kiss him back on reflex because I do like him right now. Before realizing what's happening and being disgusted with him, I would kiss him. It sounds crazy, but I'm just trying to be realistic knowing how my brain works. That's why I don't really want to sit on it. I know I'll not want him after something like that, but the damage will be done as far as the wife is concerned. And no, I haven't talked to him about the wife or the lack of ring. I kind of hate him right now for not disclosing, but he never did anything explicit, so I can't hate him for real. I have a hate for him that is clearly stemming from my affection and love for him, which is why I'm so alarmed right now. Trying not to be a red flag, but even my green flag option sounds like a crazy witch plotting on a family. So what should I do? What is wrong with people? People need to learn that, like, just because you feel a thing doesn't entitle you to then, like, act on it in, you know, in a selfish way. It's like, you have a crush on a married man. You are not the only person who has ever experienced this. He has done nothing wrong. And you just need to go, well, I like someone who's unavailable. And I'm going to move on. I'm going to move forward. I don't need it to be a big dramatic reveal. I don't need to get closure about it. The closure is moving on.
Right. You saying that I'm just going to go open the option for him to maybe leave his wife, though, is immediately an HR case that's getting you fired.
Yeah. No, and your whole point of view here is like really alarming because it sounds like you do just want to date this guy.
Me.
Like, and you're like, oh, if he tries to kiss me or something, I won't be able to stop myself. It's like, yeah, you could. You could go, whoa,
like,
hey, you're married. So you do. You don't really care. Edit. I will no longer entertain or respond to any post telling me to seek therapy. Because for one, I'm not crazy. To clarify, I don't have some weird need or want to tell the wife. Under everyday circumstances, I would have told this coworker how I used to feel. Always best to say it in a past tense so they don't think it's a door open situation and move on. If he was single, I'd already be halfway to finding a new work husband. But I've never been in a situation where there was another party connected, so I stopped myself from doing my default, mainly due to Reddit horror stories, and considered the possibility of consulting the wife. In my initial mind frame, it didn't matter to me if he responded, I just needed to say it. Regardless, I won't end up with him because he'll either be a cheater or fickle. Now, all that's left is to either tell him so I can move on or change jobs so I won't have a chance of seeing him and I can compartmentalize and act like I've never met or liked him. Those are my only two options. Staying around a married man with feelings for him is not a dang option. It's weird and dumb. And there's another edit. Something that came up that I think others could also be assuming, so I should address it. When I say I want to tell him, I'm not talking about some sly, I like you, but I know we can't be together comment that really isn't even closure. That's just something homewreckers say to feel morally just when they're testing the water for being side chicks. I would say exactly, if not something eerily similar to, quote, I used to like you, but I'm moving past it. Thank you. I would say that since a lot of people brought up workplace issues that I think are valid concerns. And we have an update. There were maybe 3 people who gave constructive criticism and advice between both posts. I'm really only updating for y'all because the rest are either hurt individuals or cheating fantasizers, And all your advice is really to your ex that hurt you or some weird cheating adjacent type situation. I came to my conclusion after consulting the whole extended friend group. Because unlike y'all, they've all known me for at least 10 years and aren't fueled by their own biases. I can't believe how dumb you are to be like, my best friends that I've known for 10 years have no bias around me at all. Anyways, the conclusion we came to was to ultimately tell him. We concluded that by not telling him, I would be giving him special treatment and could end up solidifying the emotion. Everyone agreed I should just get it off my chest. It's the quickest way to remove myself from this and their situation.
Quickest way,
Their
quit.
situation?
Quickest way, quit.
This
They
is
don't know.
your situation.
They
are in
this
it.
situation. You are dragging them in.
Bro, their situation is a marriage. You're
the issue.
You are the situation by bringing this up. Oh my God. All other options is me dragging it out, which was voted a red flag for my spiraling. Although I'm sure 2 of my guy friends only said that because they like seeing me do my reverse rejection, a name they coined in undergrad. For context, it was about 11 people consulted, 4 women and 7 men. Now, this is where we split, but we agreed I should record my voice in case he tried to lie and make it something it's not. Or if the wife ever does reach out, I can give her the audio so she can use that however she likes.
So she has the audio of her being like, hey, husband, hey, coworker, I really, really like you. And coworker being like, I have a wife. And she's like, I'll send this to his wife and he'll leave him.
I don't understand how you're making him like the one who it's like
because she can't
you're making him the guy who's like, and this is his fault actually.
She needs him to leave the wife so that it's not cheating, so that she morally feels okay with this, just so she can turn around and reject him because she felt rejected.
Yeah, like, but what is his wife gonna use that audio for?
To laugh at?
I'll probably tell my manager too, just so he's in the loop like my HR friend suggested. So I'll probably post my transcript later. I've never had to be around someone I got over, so I would change departments if he starts acting weird. But ultimately, at the end of the lunch break, I'll tell him and get back to work. Tomorrow is hybrid day, too, so we chose today. I don't think it will vary much from my normal prompt I've said before in an edit, but I'll let y'all know if I feel like it. Reddit is full of some twisted people. I get it. I think differently than most people, but y'all really dragged your think pieces that were solely based off of your own life experience, which got nothing to do with me.
Why'd you post on the internet then? Like, you asked at the beginning for a think piece.
This girl's just stupid. Very unhelpful, by the way. But I started this, so I should probably see it through to the end and update y'all on it. And we do have that second update.
Get to it. Just get to it. I want to know.
So I didn't do it at lunch like I planned. He could tell I was off, though, because I was distancing, and I ended up saving it for the end of the day. Thought that would be best, because we don't come into the office on Tuesday, so it would give time to minimize any fallout. And by the way, there won't be a fallout if you listen to full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, just search OK Storytime. And we're going to finish this story right now.
I'm scared at how little is left.
I ended up saying, hey, this could be weird, but I used to like you, but I'm moving past it. Just wanted to be transparent since we work closely together. I didn't know you had a wife until last week, so I thought I'd just rip the Band-Aid. I think moving forward, I should partner with James so it's not weird. Boundaries are best. I'll be cordial, though, but yeah, have a blessed day.
Blessed day. Girl,
James is the next
one that
victim.
she's going to next.
I need to know his response.
I don't think we're going to get that.
OP continues, then I just walked to my car. He texted me like an hour after to apologize and make sure that we're still cool and make sure it's not Weird Wednesday when we get back in the office. He actually asked if we could still be friends, which doesn't matter much to me, but yeah, I think this chapter is over. I feel a lot better now.
It doesn't matter much to me if we actually stay friends, because I really only wanted you on a relationship level, and if we're just going to remain cordial, you're of no use to me.
My boss got mad I let a coworker vent, so I stopped making work fun.
Don't be that person.
My job performance is exceptional. I meet every necessary mark 100% of the time, and I've done so over the last 10 years. Maybe an odd month or two in there due to travel and things that would make it impossible. I've also stepped up and carried the load for coworkers when things have come up to ensure our area isn't dinged for performance issues. Clients get along well with me. I've never had a complaint filed against me, etc. You get the idea. By the way, this comes from Preference Afraid, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I also am known to do all the holiday decorating, coordinating the gifts for office celebrations, baking the desserts, writing formal thank yous from our department, and making holiday baskets to help maintain positive relationships with the other agencies we work with. A couple months back, there was a policy change, and none of us were happy about it. I made the best of a bad situation and adapted to the change immediately. My coworkers did as well, but they all called me to complain and vent. This is normal. We tend to complain amongst ourselves for one good witch session and then just, it is what it is, and continue to work hard and not complain again. Here's where the issue is. While one of my coworkers was venting, my boss was eavesdropping selectively on my side of the conversation, as that's what he could hear. I was commiserating with them, but also pointing out how it wouldn't be that bad, it's in our contract, how we can make it fun, less obnoxious. We hung up and I didn't think about it further, especially since neither of us really said anything that you wouldn't expect an employee to say with the kind of change they're wanting. It was pretty dang tame. I didn't think anything about it again until my boss called me in a few days later to do an employee evaluation in response to it. In every review I've had here, I've always hit the exceed expectations in nearly every category. He got me down to meets expectations on everything. He reamed me for my attitude, for not cutting my coworker off and letting them vent. You think that OP would continue to be liked in that office if someone came to her and was like, oh, this is so annoying that we have to do this? She said, hey, don't talk about boss that way.
Don't do that.
Don't talk about work that way.
You know what? It has to be positive.
Grateful.
If it's not positive, not allowed.
God, no one would like her. Telling me I should have told them to call him. Is this man never worked for anyone else? Has he never had a job that he wasn't the boss of?
Has he never vented?
Yeah, wow. He accused me of being negative, a negative influence, and that if he didn't nip it in the bud now, it could fester and create a toxic work environment. I was and still am pretty pissed about it. Coworkers should be allowed to vent to each other without it being treated like this. After this, as you may have guessed, I'm just not in the mood to head up everything extra I've been doing to make the office environment fun. I keep my door closed when he's here. I didn't bring dessert for the March birthday lunch. That lunch isn't mandatory, but I didn't want more problems, so I went and just sat quietly the entire time. Now there's another appreciation week and month for one of the departments we work with, and there's been an email chain about cards and gifts, and I've responded the amount I'll put towards it and asked who I should send it to. People are noticing I'm not picking this stuff up, and that chain has gone in circles for days now, and I'm not budging. I've had one person approach about it, and I just said I don't have the time to take it on right now. I guess I'm feeling like all the crap I did on the regular to foster a positive work environment got thrown out or was never appreciated because I lent an ear to a coworker and then got viciously reprimanded for it. Like, what's the point if 10 years of going out of my way gets thrown out just like that? Am I the a-hole for just quietly stepping out of all these extras due to my feelings on how this was handled? Am I being overly petty? Canvas Shoes says not the a-hole, the boss, as the kids call it. Effed around and found out. Venting is typically a positive and necessary thing as long as it's handled appropriately. And it sounds as if you were that appropriate bottleneck and sounding board. He was extremely stupid to have not allowed you to explain the situation to him. Stand your ground, just keep it light, sweet, and my workload is preventing me from keeping up with those extra tasks about it all. Hope he says thank you. I did try to explain it to him when he was marking me down. The real irony is he's sitting there calling me a potential negative toxic presence that was going to ruin team morale the day after I had just handed out handmade Valentines to my other teammates. This person says, I agree with you and absolutely would be hurt in this aspect of having an evaluation weaponized against you. He is toxic management. His actions are going to damage morale more than providing a sympathetic ear will ever do. He, boss, is going to try and flip this on you. Now that you're not doing the extras that did brighten up your coworkers' days, he may try and come back and use this against you. Do you have a way to formally dispute the evaluation? Can you speak with HR? He is out of line, punishing an employee for listening to someone else vent about the workplace. Venting is healthy, gets things out in the open so work can continue. I think you need to vent to someone higher on the food chain that can wrangle him in. OP said this one isn't the annual, so it doesn't really count towards anything that could impact pay or raises. If my next one goes like this, I will be taking it above him. At that point, I will potentially impact my earnings, and I refuse to get docked pay when I do so much. And OP says, I love this job. It's a good one, and one of the few that still has a union. He wouldn't be able to terminate me unless I actually did something crazy or consistently not met my matrix. And someone asks, can you talk to your union rep? OP says I could, but I'm holding off unless he tries to take it further than this. My actual review is up in a few months, and if that goes like this again with how good my performance is, I will be. Which I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But there is an update 3 days later.
I think I agree with you not being appreciated, and like, is this really affecting your boss if you're not doing this morality, like all the stuff that you're doing?
I think, for example, it's like if you work at a job and, you know, you are staying overtime to sweep or clean things.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And you're doing all this extra work that you're not being paid for. And then your boss comes in and says, like, you suck and you did all this stuff wrong.
Oh,
and you go,
yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not being paid for all this extra work.
I don't have to do this. Yeah, it's the thing of like, you go above and beyond.
But there is an update 3 days later. There was an event that usually requires someone to head up the card, gift, staff, coordination things. I had told the team and my boss several weeks in advance this event was pending and I wouldn't be free. No one did anything until the day before, and then one of them called me to ask that I do all the legwork. I declined, citing that I just did not have the time, which was/is true. My higher-ups cornered me on this a few days later, stating that I've been pulling away, teamwork makes the dream work, etc., and citing this event as evidence. They also cited me being on my phone during unofficial mandatory fun times as further evidence of drawing back. I told them that I had given everyone, boss included, weeks of notice that the event was coming up, and I wouldn't be able to head it. I pointed out that I'm still helping the team with tasks directly relevant to my work, but with my current caseload, I just couldn't afford to allocate time to the social event planning right now. As for the mandatory fun, I reminded them that I often don't get lunch breaks due to community meetings that get held at those hours and my having to flex out early on those days. So having to lose out on a good break on a day I don't have to is burning me out. They fumbled around for about 30 minutes trying to convince me, and I just held firm that with my current caseload, I don't have time to allocate non-essentials. I was told I'm allowed to prioritize my breaks. I've been so busy I haven't had a chance to attend the community meetings recently. And honestly, this might be another thing I end up cutting back on in the long run. Overall, it came across like they're panicked I'm considering leaving. Then maybe they should appreciate you.
Ruh-roh, yeah.
There was a comment about that concern, and I let them know I'm not planning on leaving, but I am taking time to restructure my priorities now that my caseload has increased. And there are some comments, which I'll read. Someone asks about OP's pay. I'm not underpaid. I'm compensated fairly. This is a job worth writing out frustration for. Policy change was to make some non-traditional hours with stipulations mandatory. I'm sure once the changes inevitably result with problems during standard business hours, they'll eventually reconsider the stupid short-sighted Band-Aid fix. And OP says about what her work is, the nature of my work is emotionally draining. You could describe the relationships with Coworker as trauma bonded at times. I do not have it in me at the end of my 40 hours to do more of what I do at work for no pay. I know that sounds awful, but I need my non-work hours to spend time with friends, family, pets, hobbies. I can't serve from an empty vessel. I know everyone's saying quit, but that's realistically not a solution for me. I love the work I do. I find large areas of it to be incredibly fulfilling. I'm having a positive impact on my community. I know that I bring a personal history that allows me to be somewhat good at what I do. I'm not sure they'd be able to easily find another me, and that's unfortunately what the clients on my caseload need. Beyond that, however, I enjoy coming into work at least 90% of the time. I know I wouldn't be able to find another job that checks all the boxes this one does, especially not where I live. Asleep Republic says, not the a-hole, but seriously, weren't you overdoing it? Do your work, enjoy your time. OP says, I never work over 40 hours. My hours end and I walk right out the door and I leave the work phone there too. I don't think I was overdoing it, just making sure I was covering those that will cover me when things come up. It's not even a weekly occurrence, and they always reciprocate. I still plan on helping cover what needs coverage in regards to things relevant to the job, just not the cards or party planning stuff due to the way I'm feeling about things right now. And OP also says, I have zero desire to be promoted. I left a managerial position where I ran 3 programs to do this job. Less work, more pay, less responsibility. Not everyone fantasizes about job titles. And OP says how she works. I am very detail-oriented, organized, and efficient to a fault. A lot of stuff I do simply because I feel guilty for having free time at work. I could probably complete my entire job functions each week in like 20 hours if it was allowed. I've always been like this. I probably have some kind of disorder. I'm just as bad at home. My husband has told me that I complete more in the time between waking and getting to work than a lot of people manage in an entire day. The job I left for this one had to hire more than one person to replace me, but training was probably easy because I wrote a guide on what needed to be done daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually, and gave them my spreadsheets. I know if I reached out to that previous job, they'd snap me up in an instant, but their pay and benefits are crap. And anything about the boss, update-wise? OB says no, hate to disappoint. The thing is, he's a pretty decent boss most of the time. I think that's why I was so shocked about this whole situation. We don't have a lot of mandatory fun stuff in our office, so I guess there haven't been many opportunities. I'm holding strong to just not heading it up. I'm doing my job, and that's about it. My coworkers haven't reached out at all this week, so I think they're processing how to approach my sudden weirdness and distance. And there is a final update. But any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think they're finally seeing how much you do.
Yeah, they're like, wait, why aren't you helping us? No, wait. Should have been more, appreciative. Annual performance evaluation is in, and it's just as dismal as the retaliatory one. I've declined signing it without discussion, and I've contacted my union. This feels like punitive retaliation if they can't justify the decreases despite my consistent quality performance. I will be quiet quitting everything that's not a core job function, as continuing to do so will feel like chasing an unattainable metric. By the way, you should chase more full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a third update, actually, 6.5 months later.
That's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
That they're just like, you are still doing what you need to be doing.
You're literally doing your job. You're just not doing extra work for free. They cannot mark you down for not doing free extra work. Union advised that technically the review is valid as they're going by the letter of the set parameters, and boss advised that since I meet my deadlines and quotas, it's valid. I've gone the route of quiet quitting. Nothing outside the minimum to meet expectations, so my raises aren't impacted. I've called in sick a few days. There was non-mandatory but unspoken mandatory fun. I've ceased community outreach so that I'm not missing my breaks. Coworkers are aware there was unjust retaliation. More changes have come that impact management. Boss is talking about taking a job with less of a commute. I know I'll be encouraged to apply for their position. All I'm going to do when that happens is laugh. And that is the end of that story. But yeah, good on you, OP. That is completely unfair. You did so much, and the fact that they literally, affected your pay.
They're never going to apologize.
Yeah, no.
My coworker is obsessed with me despite us both being married.
Gross.
Ew.
Ooh, yucky.
Me, 24 male, and my crazy coworker, 26 female, work at the same office. She sits on the desk across from mine and is married as well as I am. Recently, we've been talking more with each other, but nothing out of the ordinary. I have a good relationship with pretty much everyone here except for Carl, F you, Carl, and your credit stealing habits.
Yeah, Carl, why don't you give OP the credit they deserve?
Shut up. Wait.
Come on,
All my
Carl.
homies hate
What
Carl.
are you doing, Carl?
F you, Carl.
Carl.
F you, Carl.
Come on.
Carl, why are you stealing credit?
Carl.
No,
Carl.
that haunted
Carl.
me in high school.
Carl.
That's haunted
Carl.
me. By the way, this comes from As Your Doctor. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, just cheap chat about regular stuff. How was the weekend? Look at this funny video. What do you think about this, that, etc.? Then she started texting, telling me that she is surprised about how easy it is to talk to me and how she enjoys how the conversation just flows. And I was like, cool, me too, you're nice. Last week, I left my car at the auto repair since the brake started to make a funny noise. And since she lives 2 blocks away from where I live, I asked for a ride home. We were in traffic going home, talking about regular stuff. Then she brought the subject up again about how nice our conversations have been. And I agreed. I have plenty of female friends, so this is not uncommon for me. Then she started talking about how interesting it is that we have some different opinions about stuff, but we get along well anyway. And I was like, yeah, sure. This is when I noticed things got weird. Then she said she started looking at me differently, that she's attracted to me, and put her hand on my thigh.
No, not the hand thigh.
No! I thanked her and told her she's nice and good looking, but we're just colleagues. We're both married. I respect her, but I'm not interested. So no way anything is going to happen. The rest of the ride was an awkward silence. When I got home, she kept texting me about how we're getting along so well and stuff.
Yeah, I really like that complete silence we had together.
Really liked the silence in the car. I think I fully would have been like, pull over, I will walk home.
Yeah.
I don't care how far we are, I will walk home, I will call an Uber.
Don't touch me, I'm scared.
Anyway, how we're getting along so well and stuff. How she is not in the best moment in her marriage, etc. Then I received a lot of Instagram notifications of her mass liking my photos.
Now is the time to block her. And also bring this to like HR and immediately your wife.
HR.
Your wife first. Wife needs
Call
to know
up
about
your
this
wife
right
in
now.
The phone. Wait, wife, this girl's got her hand on my thigh right now. Please come pick me up.
Help. Help, please. I need you to fight this person.
I replied to the text, trying not to be rude, saying that maybe she should use her energy and time to resolve the problems she is having at home instead of this.
Yeah, you just corporate dunked on her.
At this point, I think she is crazy, and the best way to avoid any problems is just dismiss the crazy stuff she is saying and keep it cool and distant since we work together in a 55-person company. She said it's not just physical attraction, that she's jealous and can't stand seeing my wife's posts on Instagram with me. Red alert. And now she wants to meet me after work or during the lunch break out of the office to talk about things. I haven't told any of this to my wife yet. Why not? Talk to your wife right now. And I was not planning to do so since she is way too stressed out recently with her job and some problems with her parents. So I'd like to know from the all might and all-knowing Reddit how,
All might
one,
mentioned.
to avoid this crazy lady getting more crazy and trying to cause problems at work and with my marriage, and two, wives of Reddit, if you were my wife, would you like me to tell you what's happening or just deal with it?
Are you crazy?
You don't need the wives of Reddit to.
First of all, your wife shouldn't get stressed out that some girl's into you. As soon as you say that, she should go, man, my husband tells me things. I'm not stressed because my husband's not an idiot and is clearly not into this woman.
Right.
You're just letting her know because it's relevant. Yo, there's this girl at my work who's
answering her.
literally obsessed with me. It's crazy. I'm going to have to talk to HR about it. Done.
Easy peasy. Hey, wife, she put her hand on my thigh in the car today. I'm going to HR tomorrow. Thought
Literally
you should know.
2 steps. Talk to your wife and
Talk
then
to
take
HR.
everything, all the texts that this woman has sent you and show them to HR. Done.
My plan so far is to let her know again that I'm not interested. Just play it cool and dismiss what she is saying slowly decreasing the number of interactions we have until everything fades into regular coworker stuff.
That is who you are.
Terrible plan. Top comment, Sandman42. You need to tell 2 people. 1, your wife. 2, HR. Show them the texts, including you're requesting that she stop contacting you and hitting on you. You need to tell your wife and HR because this could easily spiral out of control. And you need to be on top of the story. Also, you gotta trust your wife, man. Then stop talking to this coworker about anything that isn't directly work related. Update 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Any other comments, or are we on the same page?
Do that. Do exactly what that comment just told you to do.
Great.
Exactly
I agree.
that.
I agree. Since it was the first time this happened to me in such a blunt way, I tried to handle it the best I could. But I was kind of lost about what to do. So thanks again, your advice really helped me. Following your advice, I got home yesterday, asked my wife to sit down, and told her what was going on. I showed her all the messages and explained to her in detail what happened. She was really concerned, didn't get mad or anything. She was just worried that, using her words, that witch would ruin your career and stress you out. So I told her I would talk to my boss and HR the next day, and so I did. I arrived earlier, scheduled the meeting with HR and my boss. He went pale when I told him I'd like to talk to him and HR together. Later, he said he thought I would quit. I sat down with them, asked them to be prepared for a Mexican soap opera, then showed them all the messages and explained to them everything that happened.
I'm giving you the script of my telenovela.
I told them I'd like her to be moved to another desk and that I trusted them to discipline her so she would stop pestering me. They listened very quietly, nodding between the sentences and asking quick questions when in doubt. After I finished telling my tale, they said they would call her in to talk and address the subject, and that I could rest assured they would take all reasonable measures. I went back to my desk and got to work. That I was going on a business trip to Mexico City the following week. I was pretty busy. Then I heard the BSCC phone, short for Bat Crap Crazy Coworker, ring. She looked at me with suspicion in her eyes when she got up and went to talk to HR. I tried to avoid eye contact and didn't express anything. 1 hour later, she came back crying, got her purse, and left. Everybody in the office was like, what the F just happened? My boss then called me into his office and told me what happened. They told her I told them what was going on. Then she made a whole dramatic show, telling them she was in love with me and was fighting for what she thought was right, etc.
Wow. You're going to be fighting in the unemployment line.
My boss and the HR person dismissed her arguments and told her she would need to keep things professional and move to another desk. Otherwise, they would have to rescind the work contract. And she preferred to get fired. So from now on, she no longer works with me. It has been 2 weeks, and so far nothing related to the subject has happened. So I guess my life is back the way I like it. Just peace and quiet. So thanks again for all the advice. I think my thoughts were kind of clouded by this. You guys made me think clearly, so thanks. Some relevant comments. Comment 1 says, they told her I told them what was going on. Then she made a whole dramatic crap show telling she was in love with me and she was fighting for what she thought was right, etc., etc., etc. Wow, this woman is mentally ill. No joke. She is completely detached from reality if she's pulling stuff like this when facing both her boss and HR. That is unhinged. Keep a sharp eye out, OP. She knows where you live, and she's no longer constrained by the prospect of losing her job. Don't hesitate to call the police if she shows up. Commenter 2 says this. OP, if possible, have your boss and HR give you something in writing about what happened in case you need it for documentation purposes with the authorities. You might also want to write out your own quick log of everything that happened, and while it is still fresh in your mind, check into what your legal option might be, just in case. I know it sounds like overkill, but trust me, you don't want to let your guard down just yet. This woman is potentially dangerous. Another commenter says, I agree with all this. I would just add that the messages, etc. she left should be kept too. Better to not need them than to regret trashing them. OP responds, guys, thanks for this advice. I think I've been a little naive believing this would stop now. Following your comments here, I wrote my logs, made a backup of all the messages, and requested HR for a formal letter explaining what happened. I was considering going to the police station and checking what I could do to get this registered, just in case anything happens. But I don't think this is necessary with all the other measures I took. Another commenter says, my question is, was she always this crazy, or are you that good looking and charming that you drove her insane that she couldn't have you?
You drove her insane with your beautiful eyes. Anyone would lose their sanity staring into your gorgeous pools.
The commenter responds, I must admit, he does sound completely adorable and charming. No wonder she fell for him. Oh no, the commenters are falling for him too.
Oh no.
Oh no.
His power is too strong. I'm falling for him. Oh God.
OP says, I've been working with her for 2 years, but we never talked much before this happened, so I cannot claim anything for sure. But before all this drama, she didn't let any craziness show up. Now, about myself, you're making me feel embarrassed. I'm not that self-aware.
Stop,
With a little
you made
smiley
me
face, guys.
embarrassed. Stop.
Another commenter says, maybe a bipolar or manic episode? Just speculating, but it is weird that it took her 2 years. Seems like it escalated quickly once she set her sights on you. OP says, well, I'm also known for not being very perceptive, and I never paid much attention to her, so it can be my fault on this point. Oh my God, we have another update, a call from her husband.
Oh, lordy. Yeah, I think it's firmly now just in the realm of if she keeps showing up, it's time to call the police. But I don't know. Her husband's making the call.
Yikes.
Let's see what he says.
I just got a call from her husband. Apparently, she was crying all weekend and told him on Monday why she was fired. He told her he didn't buy her version of the facts since she contradicted herself in several points of her story. He told her to call the company to clarify what happened, and now he was calling me just to make sure. I told him everything and offered to show him the messages. We are going to meet in an hour in a coffee shop next to the office. He sounded hurt, but very clear-minded. I just told my boss, HR, and my wife that I was going to meet him, and my boss offered to go with me.
Okay.
Man, I'm surrounded by good people. We have another update. I hope she doesn't show up instead, and it's not some
Yeah, I would be very suspicious of that. I'd be like, do you want to FaceTime? I don't know if I want to meet up with this guy in person. I don't know you. And your wife is insane. So I don't know if you're crazy as well.
Yeah. Just came back from the meeting with her husband. It was all very quick. I arrived with my boss, and he was waiting for me. I just showed him the messages on my phone, answered some questions about what happened, and that was it. He said he just wanted to be sure because she deleted all of her messages.
Wow.
And by the way, I have a message for you that you should go listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. We got a little bit more, but what you thinking?
Yeah, I think it was probably a smart move to not go meet that guy alone.
Yeah.
I guess, he's like, this can't be true, right?
Right.
It can't be that. It is. It was.
I wonder the crazy story that she told him.
Things weren't lining up.
Yeah.
Several points, by the way. Not one, not
Several.
two. Several.
Yeah, but I guess good on her for at least saying it. But I think that kind of speaks to even more of like how unhinged she is right now. She's like, she probably told him like, I was doing this for love, for what's right.
Yikes.
Yeah, don't let your husband stop you from fighting your husband.
He said this was not the first time something like that happened and apologized for everything. He said she was seeing a psychologist in the past, but she had stopped going recently. I just said I didn't want anything to do with it, that I came to meet him just to make clear I didn't want any of this to happen, wished him the best, and left. He just nodded and apologized again as I left. I'm surprised by his reaction. Maybe he doesn't seem angry because they went through something similar before. I don't know, and I really don't care. I've just had enough drama, and I'm glad this wasn't another one. So let's hope this is the end. And that's the end of that story.
My coworkers tried to ruin my life after I survived a surgery.
I just survived something. Leave me alone.
By the way, this comes directly from the r/OK Storytime subreddit. This is one of us. I'm female, 25, and I work in healthcare. I had worked in home health before I got wrongfully fired from the company. Long story short, they had 2 companies, and one is now being investigated for tax fraud. Don't know how that's possible. It doesn't exist. Oop. There's no such thing as the fraud in your taxes.
Well,
Nope. Taxes are all fraud.
well,
Taxes are fraudulent.
No taxation without representation.
I don't know about y'all. I don't feel very represented. I had turned in a 2-week notice because I was being punished by the supervisor for speaking up for the patients. I had vocalized to part of the care team that a patient needed to be in a nursing home and not home health services. He was that bad off. By the way, this comes from user Massive.
And you know what else is massive?
Instance 8292. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit where this story was submitted. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give you good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments, as OP says. 3 weeks after this, I turned in my 2-week notice. It was done in a very professional manner, and I'll post it here. Quote, "Dear whoever it concerns, please accept this letter as formal notice of my resignation from my position at STNA, at company name, effective 2 weeks from the date of this letter. My last day will be January 25th, 2025. I appreciate the opportunities I've had while working at company name, and I'm grateful for the experience and knowledge gained. I'll ensure a smooth transition of my responsibilities during my remaining time here. Thank you again for the opportunity to be part of the company name team." Come to find out, I was one of 5 aides that they had cover for the patients for the company that's being investigated for tax fraud. Patients started reporting non-coverage, but were getting charged for hours that weren't being provided. Not even 2 days after my last day, I got fired from the other company I was still working for. They pulled me in and said they would be terminating my contract due to a false report. Side note, it was a one-sided argument with a woman who was yelling at me because I was parked in a drop-off area waiting for my wheelchair patient. She was running her mouth at me, but I wasn't saying anything back. I had my patient's wife on the phone the entire interaction. I informed them of this information, and my boss looked at me, laughed, and said, "I don't have to look into it, and I'm not going to." I bet you work in Florida.
You're like, hey, this is tax fraud. And they're like, is my job? I'm supposed to look at the tax fraud?
We've got fraudulent medical services company, at-will employment. You're living in Florida.
I'm not doing a single thing about that. I've got golf at 7. I've got to go. Tax fraud, more like tax frogs in my backyard.
In my backyard, because I'm in Florida where there's frogs and they're
Florida.
shaped like alligators. What is an alligator but a large, angry frog?
So true. Think about that.
I knew this could be a response due to living in an at-will state. I'm glad I no longer work there because it came out that the supervisor had been arrested on substance charges
Ooh.
and got dragged on social media so badly it made the local
I
news.
feel you must live in Florida.
Welcome to Florida. Fast forward to now. I was unemployed until June when I got a job in a nursing home. The interview went great at first. I was working the assignment of an aide who went on medical leave. It was easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Or so I thought. Information that will make sense as to why I add this. I was diagnosed with stomach issues at 14, almost 15. At 18, I was diagnosed with IBS, GERD, Crohn's, and chronic peptic ulcers.
Oh, rough.
To say that I'm used to being in pain is an understatement. The first issue I ran into with my new coworkers was my accidental flatulence. I would walk away when I felt one coming on, but due to my health issues, I don't always feel them at all. So they would sneak out at times. They would message in a group chat about me and giggle about it right in front of me. Mind you, these are women in their 40s and 50s. Hey.
I gotta say, farts are always a little funny.
Yeah, come on now.
I mean, explain to them it's medical, but I feel like when you're farting all the time, you just gotta take it in stride and be like, I know.
Hello.
Don't I know? Oh, that was a good one. You just gotta own it. You
They
know?
call me the fart factory.
Yeah.
The flatulence facilitator.
When my friends and I were traveling, we were doing our backpacking trip, my friend got COVID on the second day of the trip, so she had to go quarantine. And then we ended up in London in different hostels. The hostel that she was in a room with this older lady, and just she was having a conversation with the old lady, and the old lady was farting the whole time. But she would like keep going. She wouldn't be like, "Oh, sorry." She would just be like, and we'd talk, keep going. And she was doing this the whole night. And then they went and got like, she took my friend out for some fish and chips. And apparently it was a lovely lady, but a little farter.
Here's the next issue. I fell and hurt my back. I was in the worst pain ever. I felt like my organs were in a blender and whoever was in control wouldn't stop blending. I tried to push through it and go to work. Mind you, a few days prior, I had been in the hospital all night and still came in 30 minutes late with no sleep. I don't just call off or leave work for no reason. I have to be passing away to do so. Hey, I think we might have wanted to call off work that day.
Yeah, if you're in that much pain, you just got to call off work.
Well, no, I mean, if you were in the hospital all night and then came
Yeah.
in 30 minutes late with no sleep,
Don't do
that's
that.
not good. Maybe that could have
Call in.
contributed to your injury if you were, I don't know,
Yeah.
were you at work? But yeah, if you're pushing yourself to the point of absolute exhaustion, could make for a dangerous environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I messaged my manager to leave because of my back, and I did. I went to the hospital. They did x-rays. I had a gallstone in my liver bile duct that I had knocked loose, and it was tearing through.
Ooh, gosh.
They told me it would pass and I'd be fine. I knew this was wrong and scheduled a follow-up with a hepatologist and gastroenterologist. I didn't make the appointments immediately. A few days later on the 4th of July, I ended up in the emergency room bawling my eyes out. I was feeling like I would rather be passed away than continue the pain I was going through. I even told the doctor, who said, I don't even know where my gallbladder or liver is, and I'm just being dramatic.
Your doctor said that?
Your doctor said you don't even know where your gallbladder is. You're just being dramatic.
I said, get out of my face and get me a different doctor. I don't want someone so incompetent treating me. He sent a nurse practitioner who actually listened and was very sweet.
I mean, good on you for standing up for yourself.
Yeah, it's an important thing to do.
Yeah. You need to advocate for yourself because no one else will.
It's true. Sometimes you got to be annoying and aggressive. Sometimes you got to be like, no, that's not what I want. And
Well,
actually,
yeah.
I've already done that, and I want a recommendation to this specialist. Because we have a dumb system where you have to, like...
They do not want to recommend you for
You have to, like,
specialists.
get permission to see a doctor from your doctor, which is... I hate it here for that. He had ordered opioids for me, and I had already told him I didn't want them. Thankfully, she informed me and gave me Tylenol. She said it was always an option, but would only give me medicine I was comfortable with. I'm pretty sure they got sick of my crying and begging them to please just make the pain stop, because just an hour after arriving at the ER, they knocked me out with Ativan and Haldol. To make a long story short, they ended up removing my gallbladder and also had to do surgery on my liver to get the stone. I was kept off work for 3 weeks. By the time I went back, everyone was beyond upset that I was allowed to keep my job after being off for so long. Oh,
Dude, but your medical...
oh, oops, sorry. I had to recover from major surgery.
Wow. The people at your
Oops.
job... And you work in healthcare?
This is Florida.
Gotta be.
I was being switched from rotation to rotation after coming back because I was the fill-in, which I didn't agree to at all in my contract and had specifically asked for a permanent spot. It wasn't good for me physically going from rotation to rotation because it wasn't allowing my body to heal. I got held over even though in my contract it says I don't have to work past 7 p.m. It was agreed upon and signed off. I even made sure all the nurses were aware of this agreement. Guess who had to stay over because the other two left the floor? If you guessed me and the other aide, you'd be right. I think you need to take this to whoever is
Yeah.
above your manager.
Yes.
Whoever is like the utmost authority here, you
Top
go,
dog.
my contract is being violated. I'd
Yeah.
like to talk to...
Here are my doctor's notes. Here was the medical emergency, says Katie Paladin, that I had to take off for.
I kept telling the nurses this was against my contract and that I wasn't going to stay, and they needed to call someone in. They said, this isn't our job, and they weren't going to. They threatened to report me for abandonment if I left, and that they had every right to do so. I was being texted by my ex-babysitter at exactly 7 asking where I was, and that I needed to be there by 7:30. I had never been late picking up my kids, and the way she acted that night is why she's the ex-babysitter. She threatened to call
my God.
CPS and cops if I wasn't there. Again,
As long as you were
Florida.
communicating, as long as you were communicating to the babysitter and being like, "Hey, something happened, I can't get home," then that's a ridiculous response. 30 minutes later? Come on.
Yeah. I blew up at my boss like, hey, I have to go, and I'm not sure what to tell you guys. I was ignored. The nurse said,
It's not our fault you're a single mom because men don't like you. You should have thought about this before you had kids.
These people are terrible.
Florida.
These people are
Welcome
evil.
to Central Florida. I just sat down and cried. My boss finally got back to me, and I left. I got to my kids at 8 p.m. and had to explain to cops and show them text messages. The officer apologized and told me to find a new babysitter.
You being like, oh my God, there's an emergency at work. They won't let me leave. Probably just need another 30 minutes is not grounds for calling the cops. It's ridiculous. Bad babysitter.
Bad babysitter. I was already at the end of my rope with this job at this point. And then here comes Teresa. As a fellow Kentuckian, damn.
Rough. You were wrong. They're all Kentuckians.
Oh, Kentucky is the Florida of the Midwest.
Unless OP was originally from Kentucky and she's saying there's another person from Kentucky and I'm disappointed.
Ah, that
Could
would
still be
actually, that is pertinent.
Because she's not.
Because why would you say you're a Kentuckian if you're all in Kentucky?
That makes sense.
They're still Florida. Still
Florida.
Got it. It's still Florida. As a fellow Kentuckian, I'm so disappointed in her. She's in her 60s and acts like a teenager. She had always held a grudge against me because she can boss everyone around but me. I told her one time, act your wage, not your dream. She's an aide like me and makes the same amount. The only difference is she's an office runner. She tells on everything and everyone. I have reported her multiple times. She forces patients to give up their trays before they're done, confines certain patients to their room for no reason, and speaks horribly to patients and staff. Nobody likes her. Saturday, she kept telling me to do this and that when I know what to do. I've been doing my job for almost 7 years. I have my own routine that helps me stay on track. Mind your business and I'll mind mine. So Sunday Teresa let loose. She's on top of her attitude and bossing game. She tried telling me what to do again and got mad because I told the nurse I didn't want to work with her. And the nurse agreed. Teresa then went and lied to the nurse about multiple things I was able to prove were lies. That made her even madder, and she went to the front hall to tell the aides I was talking about them. I told them all the truth with the receipts. Lunchtime rolled around, and I had to work with Teresa. We got all the trays out, and there were a few patients who didn't get their tray. I was telling Dietary who we were missing when I saw her with a tray. I asked her for the name, and she ignored me. I went to see the name, and she yelled at me at the top of her lungs to leave it alone in front of the charge nurse. The charge nurse didn't say or do anything, so I said, I'm actually trying to find the patients, and I needed the name, so I knew who needed a tray. And by the way, I know that you need to listen to full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, just search OK Storytime. And we do have a little bit more story here.
My advice is literally find a new job.
Yeah.
Because this is terrible.
Find a new job and figure out.
Leave the state.
Report.
Yeah, report all this behavior. Report the breaches in contract.
Move back to Kentucky.
Move back to Kentucky. Leave this place.
Move to the part of Florida that isn't Florida, but instead is Cuba, and that's Miami. Anyway, we got all of them out, and I sat to feed a patient. She kept talking all kinds of crap about me across the table from me to the charge nurse, saying the following. I doubt OP has all the health issues she's told boss's name. OP acts like she's better than me. OP has lost a lot of weight. I bet the surgery she had was weight loss surgery.
Goodness.
Or maybe when you have major surgery and have to recover for 3 weeks, you lose a little weight. Maybe this is why, even though you're 60 plus years old, you've never advanced in your field.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're in healthcare? How are you in healthcare? These people are awful and stupid. I'm sorry, OP.
Yeah. I wish I could get time off to pay attention to my appearance like OP. OP got left by her fiance, and I understand why now. Jeez. So, all of this is, I'm sure very...
hostile workplace. HR.
Florida is probably actually we need to bring back bullying in the workplace. It's survival of the fittest. To say I was livid doesn't even touch how I felt. It took all I had not to lash out. A few tears slipped out while I finished feeding a patient and avoided her for the rest of the day. I'm seriously considering cutting my losses and going with the local hospital. Am I the a-hole for going off on my coworkers?
Please go off on them.
When did you even do that?
You didn't. Go off on them.
I would have gone so far off on her. Like, and not like screaming, yelling, crying, but just like surgical, tactical.
Yeah.
I mean, like, hey, Teresa, I know you're very dissatisfied with your life, but that doesn't mean you have to take it out on me.
Yeah.
My surgery, the fact that you're gossiping about my medical problems seems like a pretty severe offense in the workplace.
Seems like I could.
Yeah,
probably
I'd get her
complain about
scared.
That. Yeah. Say that. Oh yeah. You know you can get fired for that, Teresa.
I'd make her scared.
Scare her. Frighten her. Go off on her.
Yep. But that is the end of that story.
Sure is.
Yeah, I would definitely stop working there.
Leave. Sue them. I don't know. Anything. Get
Yeah,
out of there.
if you could talk to
Get
I
lost.
don't know if
from
there's
there.
any pro bono lawyers or, whatever.
Yeah.
If you can explain your situation and ask for a settlement, because, I mean, you've got a coworker who's sort of, I don't know. It doesn't sound like she's in a position of authority, though, so that might change things. But maybe there's an argument that if your, workplace facilitated a toxic
didn't
environment
address the issues.
and it concerned your private medical information and that they let that information out, I would say maybe there's something there, but I don't know. But definitely stop working there regardless.
Yep.
Crazy. And let them all know. Let them all know what you think on the way out.
Speak your mind, OP. And we're gonna get into that next story, folks.
My husband picked his coworker over me, and it started affair rumors.
Well, is he having an affair?
I need outside perspectives because I feel like I'm losing my grip on reality. My husband, male 42, and I, female 39, have been married for 10 years. Our marriage already has deep cracks from him secretly using multiple platforms to engage with Gorn. He was
Ooh.
active in NSFW websites, looking at and engaging with Gorn for years behind my back, hiding and deleting things so I couldn't see them. Trust is basically gone. This comes from Stunning Jello 2090. I'm Riley.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
The part I'm stuck on now involves a female coworker he insists nothing happened with, but the way he handles things makes me question that. There have been multiple texts unrelated to work, including her sending pictures of her child, messages talking about her ex, and what I would consider flirty messages. There's nothing on his end showing engagement back to those texts, but there are also days of no messages between them at all, which is unusual considering how often he texts and take work calls with other coworkers multiple times a day. I realized I've never seen him receive a single call from her, and he does not talk about her or mention her like he does with the others. This makes me wonder if there's communication happening on other platforms or if they are truly only communicating in person. When I've questioned him about oddly worded texts or conversations that were unrelated to work, he will tell me, I don't know, I don't remember, it's obviously something work-related. When I asked him about a flirty text she sent, he had an elaborate story about why and when she sent it, and that it was just normal work banter. But she had sent the texts months prior to the story he told me only happened recently. He later said to me, "You'll feel stupid when you leave and realize nothing happened. If you want to end this over something that isn't real, go ahead." Completely
Aggressive.
minimizing and dismissing all of the other things I have caught him in. I found out from a friend that this coworker was gossiping about our marriage, and she strangely knew we were fighting a lot and talking about separating. I had only shared details about our marriage with my therapist and one family member. When I asked him about it, he immediately went to, well, I didn't tell her anything, and acted like I accused him of confiding in her, which I didn't. When I asked about gossip she was spreading at work and why he didn't go to HR or address it with her, he said he didn't want to address it the wrong way because she's the type to be revengeful and could possibly make something up before he could get to HR first. He had also said, I don't want to make work awkward. I still have to work with her, and I don't want it to affect my job or my income.
I feel like it's already. If this were
affecting your job.
Yeah. If this were, going the way that he said it was going, I feel like it would already be awkward if she were spreading rumors.
OP says, this confused me because if nothing happened, why such fear of what she might say? He later told me it would be more effective if I were to message her privately and call her out, which would only make me look like a crazy person.
That's the
That's
worst
wild.
idea. That's the worst idea.
Your coworker
Just
who's
about,
texting
Yeah.
you?
Your coworker's wife texts you and says, "Hey, leave my man alone." That's so weird.
I tried explaining to him that it feels like he is choosing her comfort and his emotional comfort over standing up for our marriage or honoring boundaries. He told me there was never anything inappropriate, never crossed a line. When I asked him what that line was, he wouldn't answer. If I bring up anything about her or me feeling like he's protecting their emotional comfort over protecting our marriage, he calls me crazy, obsessed, delusional, and says I just make things up in my head. He's told me I'm just insecure and intimidated by her. He claims the only reason I don't believe him is because of my trust issues that he has caused, and the only way we can work on fixing our other issues is if I let this one go and stop talking about it. This whole thing feels off. He changes details, gets overly defensive, at times extremely volatile, screaming and yelling at me about it. He says he's offended I would even think he would be interested in her, and that she's disgusting, stupid, and idiot gross. He focuses heavily on this one coworker during our conversations about our issues, even when I don't bring her up. I also had a gut feeling about her long before I even found out about his online infidelity, and long before I ever saw any flirty texts. He has said to me, out of all our issues, this is the one that bothers me the most because nothing ever happened. I regret the way I reacted because if I didn't react that way, there would be no reason for concern. My question, does this sound like I'm reading too much into this because of my existing trust issues with him? Or do his story changes, reactions, and over-focus on protecting himself from addressing anything with her point to something more? Comment. Always trust your gut. Cheaters are expert liars, and the lies are usually lies of omission, and they squirm when you ask direct questions. When you ask direct questions, then that's when you become crazy, paranoid, controlling, untrusting, and insecure. And that's when you know they are lying and trying to keep from answering. Cheaters usually don't change. They just get better at hiding with apps like WhatsApp, Snapchat, or a secret phone. There's just too many ways to hide detection with digital communication, so if you have the money and know his schedule and patterns, then get a private investigator.
Dude, I don't even think we need a private investigator.
That's a lot. I don't think you need a private investigator.
I don't need a private investigator.
Probably break up.
To know that there are ants in my kitchen.
Update, is it always that one coworker? OP says, I basically begged my husband for weeks to confront the coworker who was gossiping about our marriage or to go to HR. He told his boss about it, not HR. His boss talked to her and told her it was inappropriate. All texts, calls, and messages between my husband and her stopped for a couple of weeks. She moved offices. During her first day at the new office, my husband told me he heard from his male coworker that this girl said my friend, who also works with them, was spreading rumors that she and my husband were sleeping together.
Are they rumors? If they're true?
She also blocked me on social media the same day. I asked my friend. She denied it and confronted the girl. The girl said that she didn't want to be a part of childish drama and acted concerned about how much this was affecting my husband. I asked my husband if he was going to HR now, considering this is way more serious compared to just gossip. He said he wanted to just ignore it because she's an idiot. He didn't want to let it bother him. He said he would rather focus on us. You'd think as her manager, he'd want to clear up that rumor immediately.
But also, it seems like she's lying. I feel like she's starting this rumor.
I don't know. Like, I'm at the point in this story where there's enough, like, characters and enough people being weird and sus that I'm like, well, wait, like, who, like, is she, what?
Yeah, well, it seems like what she did, so.
Let's go to the source.
Potential affair partner. I'm going to call her Stacy.
Okay.
Potential, like the girl that OP's husband might be cheating on, Stacy. It seems like Stacy, goes to HR, goes to someone and starts saying that OP's bestie, let's call her Anna, has been spreading rumors about Stacy and OP's husband sleeping together.
Yeah.
But then Anna denies this. So then I'm like, is Stacy just spreading these rumors herself to cause trouble in their marriage?
Or what I was going to say is not to cause trouble, to kind of like get ahead of it. Like if you're like, hey, somebody's spreading rumors about us sleeping together, which would never happen. They're spreading rumors. This is a problem.
And if you hear about us sleeping together, it's a rumor.
Yeah. The more OP asked, the more he escalated and got mad. He's told me about 3 or 4 different versions of what he told his boss, different stories about what his male coworker told him, different stories about what this girl said. Then he tells me he's not changing his stories. He told me I made a mess of everything for asking the friend about the rumor. He still tells me I'm delusional, that I'm unstable. The more I point out inconsistencies in what he tells me, the more he calls me names and tells me I'm insane. He told me I'm trying to sabotage his career. Maybe I'm delusional. No. Or maybe it's the constant gaslighting for weeks on end. I just don't understand why this girl would block me, then start telling people there were rumors they were sleeping together. I also can't understand why, if he hates her as much as he says he does and wishes she would get fired, he wouldn't immediately go to HR, considering that type of rumor could be extremely damaging to his career. Does this sound normal to you guys? Am I crazy? Or am I just crazy for still being with him? You should dump him. I feel like he's not trying at all to defend our marriage. This girl spreads a rumor they're sleeping together, and somehow all of his anger is targeted at me. I'm the one trying to sabotage his job. and I'm the one who's made a mess of everything. Maybe I'm crazy for assuming most couples would want to squash a rumor like that immediately. Somebody commented, there's a psychology in forming romantic bonds with people you see being driven to succeed and pursue their passions. We find people who exhibit those qualities attractive. Plus, the workplace environment encourages us to be on good behavior. It's an environment that fosters connection. Then you come home when you are tired and your partner is tired and worn out, and the time you spend together can feel less fulfilling. It's important for couples to create a home environment after work that feels like a comfortable escape from work stresses and a place where they can bond. Usually these commenters are like, here's my opinion, and like, da-da-da.
Divorce. This
Gotta
commenter was
say,
just like, this is how you create a work-life balance.
Shout out to the person that was just like, you know,
I think
there's a lot of stuff.
I think their trouble is with work-life balance.
We need to. I mean, the commenter's right. Like, you know,
I didn't hear a lie.
but yeah, that's all there is on that story.
My coworker kept flirting with me and it's causing issues in my marriage. So, for context, I, 35 male, was born and raised in Canada, but moved to the US when I was 18 for a work opportunity. I worked a construction gig while taking classes a few times a week, where I met my now wife, who I'll call Hannah, when I was 20 and she was 18. By the way, this comes from a deleted person, but if you want to submit your own stories, you can go to the OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I am Matt.
I'm Carly.
And we are here to give good advice goofily, but we do not have all the answers, obviously. So let us know what you would do in the comments, and we're going to tell you what we would do here. I knew I liked her right away, so I started to go after her. It took some time as she was treated awfully by her parents and hadn't dated much. After 3 months, we started dating. We'd been together for 15 years and married for 10. Wow. Her parents and she had just started contact again after years, and the stress they gave her caused us to cut off her parents again. Started couples and individual therapy, and she decided to leave her 9-to-5 corporate job to work at a flower shop instead, as she loves flowers and it felt it would be a healthy environment. I cook 2 out of our 3 meals, do laundry and dishes, take care of our dog, make the primary income, and also grocery shop. My wife and I go on 1 date a week, have spicy sleep 2 or 3 times a week, depending on the week, and we travel 4 to 5 times a year. I've also never cheated, as it's a deal breaker for me, and the idea grosses me out. We've been considering trying for a baby again and moving back to Canada. This was just to say we have a healthy relationship. So a new coworker, who I'll call Audrey, for the sake of this post, started around early October in a different department. I met her once or twice up until a few weeks before the first Wicked movie came out. However, I came to her section to check on things. The part she works in is more hands-on and outdoors, so I didn't have my ring on in case it got ruined or fell off. I have it on for the rest of the time. I noticed her being a little touchy, overly nice, and laughing a little too hard at my sarcastic comments. Common signs of flirting from what I've heard. Though my wife doesn't really do these things. I just brushed off her touches, was polite, and mentioned my wife in conversation. Audrey seemed a little shocked, but backed off. I also told my wife, and she brushed it off. Around the time Wicked came out, a few coworkers wanted to go and make it a thing. My wife and I wanted to go as well. Audrey and Hannah met and got along really well. Since then, it's now early March, they've gotten along nicely, texted and hung out, but I haven't spoken to Audrey much. Up until 5 days ago.
Uh-oh.
So I don't normally go to bars or drink, never even wasted, just tipsy. But a few coworkers wanted to go to this new one, and I heard it had good pizza. I asked my wife if she wanted to come, but she wanted to catch up on her favorite show, so it was me, Audrey, and about 5 others. I noticed Audrey again being a little touchy, overly nice, and laughing too hard at my sarcastic comments. I tried to brush it off, be polite, and sit further away so she couldn't touch me. I was the designated driver, so I couldn't leave. But I felt somewhat uncomfortable, and a few people noticed. My best friend, who happens to work for me, talked about how people who flirt can be pushy. He's a real one. I was also sending updates to my wife, and she said there was nothing to worry about because she knows I wouldn't cheat and that she'd just talk to Audrey later. Toward the end, Audrey made a post with a picture of all of us. Basically, it said something about how she loves her new coworker's job, etc. Within minutes, my wife saw it and commented, "I'm glad you're all having fun at the new bar. Stay safe." Audrey then commented, "Don't worry, your husband is safe with me." I mean, do I have to explain? It's the most flirty affair partner thing I've seen. I came home shortly after and we talked about the comment and how she acted that night. We agreed we needed to go low contact and I would bring it up with Audrey and my boss. The next day, my sister-in-law, 25 female, who I'll call Jess, gave birth to a healthy baby girl. Me, my wife, my brother, 25 male, the husband and new father, my older brother, 23 male, both my parents, 55 male and 54 female, along with my sister-in-law's sister, 22 female, and cousin, 28 female, all came down to see the baby. It's been 4 days since then. We're staying in a hotel and my wife and I have been helping with cleaning and cooking since they came back home, while the rest of the family has checked in at the hospital but are going back to work or home tomorrow since Jess and my brother are trying to adjust to a new baby and don't want too many people around. I won't be back for a few more days, but any advice for how I should handle Audrey? What if she tries or says something? My wife is taking it pretty well, but we haven't talked about the situation much since, baby. And I know she hasn't spoken to Audrey. Sorry if this was a ramble or too much info. I just want to give the full situation and get the best advice. Comment number 1. Have a conversation with HR and tell them what's going on. Say that although you don't want to make an official complaint, you need to have a word with Audrey and ask for someone from HR to be present. Tell Audrey that you are fine working with her and that you are glad that she gets on your wife, but the touching is making you uncomfortable and it has to stop. It doesn't matter why she's touching you, attraction or affection. The fact is it's crossing a boundary that you don't want crossed. You can even frame it as a you problem, as in, I get very uncomfortable with physical touch from anyone apart from my wife. It may make for less awkwardness to approach it that way. Please be careful if you are going to take this approach. HR is there to protect the company, not to help you. It could easily turn into a he said, she said situation. If so, the company may decide it's easier to let one or both of you go, and it won't necessarily be her. Comment number 2. It sounds like you're handling it well? ? It's not come between you and your wife at all? Talk to HR. They'll have words with her, and I'm sure all will be fine. It's no biggie. Crushes happen. Just get it officially closed down and move on. I had a similar situation with my married boss, but I really felt like he was enjoying/encouraging the attention. Is there any part of you that is enjoying this and she is somehow reading that from you and therefore acting on it? If it is the latter, I'm sure HR having words with her will still be enough to shut the whole thing down. OP responds, I haven't been engaging. I'm talkative, but that's something I do with most people, and I usually talk about work or my dog. The 2 things in life. Work and my dog.
Dog.
Work, dog, that's it. Wife sometimes. We maybe spoke 5 times, all brief, and with others, and she's only done this twice, so I think it's just a crush. Edit. It's been a few hours since my first post, and I decided to update since I saw so many comments. I saw a lot of people talking about how I never really told Audrey off and should tell HR. Great advice and very right. Thanks for telling me that. I also did get a message from someone I accidentally hit ignore on, but thanks for your words, man. It means a lot. By the way, it would mean a lot to us if you would listen to full episodes just like this one, with stories and entertainment and fun. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Story Time. There is a relevant update, but what are we thinking?
I'm thinking that OP never actually told Audrey to stop.
Yeah, I don't think that she did. Or he did, my bad. I don't think that, I don't think it's necessary to really go to HR. I think you can try to handle it first on your own, being like, I feel uncomfortable about this, or just saying, like, this is just a lot, and, like, I'm married and it makes me feel uncomfortable, like, I don't know if that's just your thing, or, if that's what you feel comfortable with, but for me, like, I'm a little, like, on the fence about it. So if you could just, like, keep your hands to yourself, like.
Yeah. I totally get the thing where, like, it's good to have documentation with HR, but again, HR is there for the company.
Yeah.
They're not there for you.
Exactly.
So when you bring HR into things, like, yes, they can help, but it's out of your control at that point.
Yeah. I think this is something that, like, this is, like, a personal thing. Like, it doesn't have anything. It's not like it's affecting the company or whatever. So I feel like, you don't really necessarily have to go to HR yet. If it progresses, if it progresses and, like, she doesn't back off after you tell her, and if you tell her multiple times, she's still not, like, doing anything, then, like, like, it's just, I think that OP can handle it unless, and then if it goes farther, then yes, you can involve others. I just got off the phone with someone in HR who I've known a long time, 42 male, and explained the situation. He was very understanding and said we can have a meeting when I get back from helping my sister-in-law. I mostly downloaded this for advice since I have few friends. Trying to get out there. I also talked to my wife about everything, and we had a long hug. Aww. And sent Audrey a message. The basics of it said we both felt uncomfortable around her and wanted to go no contact. I think I tried to brush it off at first since this doesn't happen to me much, and I knew I'd have to see her around again. But this made me realize I need to be better at standing up for myself. I'm pretty good at standing up for my wife and family, but that's it. I'm very good at standing up for like other people, but when it comes to like myself, I'm like,
It's like, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to be bothered.
yeah, I'm just like, I'd rather just say like, I'm sorry, I'll fix it, rather than like
Right.
standing up for myself.
It depends on the situation for me.
Yeah.
There are times where like definitely it's like, oh no, this is not going forward. But there are other times it's like, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I have a backbone on some things,
Yeah.
but then other things I'm like, it's okay if I take the back seat. I'm very much okay with just like being wrong about everything.
My boss accused me of faking my grandmother's passing, so I quit.
Here's your rashes, boss. You still think I'm joking?
I, 24 female, have been working at this grocery store, retail, for 5 years now. I started working at this establishment during the vid and have been there ever since. By the way, this comes from XMoonWitchX, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, my mom used to work there as well, up until this April, when she quit right before the big Easter fiasco. Reasoning our boss. Let's call her Agnes, female and in her 60s. Now, Agnes, she's a pretty strict boss, or, well, almost never in a good mood and tends to let it out on other employees. She's not well liked amongst the people who work there, and in general has a bad reputation to her name. She'll have days where she's in a great mood, laughs, smiles, and actively chats with you, calling you her favorite, making you feel special in a way. But then she'll have days where you're her worst enemy, and she avoids you at all costs. Avoids talking to you, and if you ask her something, she's kind of aggressing you, telling you to do your job. She'll hold a grudge against you for a while and treat you poorly, especially if you did something wrong. As I stated, I was hired during the vid, a really terrible and stressful time, and Agnes didn't make it easy for me. She'd have days where what I do is good enough, but she'd also have days where nothing I do is good enough for her, and I do everything wrong, and she aggresses me or yells at me until I almost cried in front of customers. Since my mom was working with me, I'd always run to her and tell her what Agnes's problem was again. My mom would often tell me to just ignore it and keep doing my job. My mom did the same tactic. This, a lot of times, made me just want to quit after only a few months of working there. I couldn't deal with Agnes's attitude, but I sucked it up and pushed through. In 2022, our store was rebuilt from a small to bigger store, and I started working behind the counter, serving customers and making them sandwiches. Think of a grocery store with a built-in Subway or something. I don't know how common they are, but they're common here. Agnes suddenly started being nicer towards me and not aggress me all the time. Of course, she would, but not always. Because of her mood swings and moodiness, I can't and I don't really trust her. Because she aggresses you one minute and will laugh with you the next minute. I'd say it has been stable all of this time, sometimes better, sometimes worse moments, but I'm enjoying my work. I really do. Now, the main problem, which actually occurred today, and I need to know if I would be the a-hole or not. So last Wednesday, I sadly lost my beloved grandmother, 88 female, due to a heart attack. She was hospitalized last Tuesday and sadly passed away Wednesday morning. She fell asleep peacefully, I was told. It's currently taking a toll on my mental health. Therefore, I called off work or called in sick from Wednesday to yesterday, Sunday. Agnes was not necessarily happy about this, nor did she understand this 100%. And tried to sway me into still showing up at work the next day. But I needed to think about myself, my health, and I needed to be with my grandma because at the time, I had no idea how much longer I had with her. I also stayed at my mom's for the time being as I couldn't be alone in that moment. I really needed this time off. Otherwise, I would have a mental breakdown at work and no one wants that. Today, Monday, I came back to work. I handed Agnes my excuse to leave, like a notice from my doctor to be excused off work from Wednesday to Sunday, and I showed her my grandma's funeral flyer so she saw that I had to attend her funeral this Friday and be excused off of work. Agnes looked at my notice, telling me it's fine, but then looked at the flyer of my grandma, and I kid you not when I say she told me, "Well, you don't lie about something like this." Excuse me? You did not just say that. So basically, Agnes called me a liar, lying about my grandma's passing, and basically accusing me of just taking a few days off of work because I don't want to work and I'm bored or something.
That's crazy. So she saw your actual grandma's funeral flyer and was like, yeah, that's a pretty good Photoshop job right there.
Yeah. That's
you know.
weird behavior. I am not lying about my grandma's passing. What the F, Agnes? And not believable? Who lies about something like that? Can you even fake that? I looked at Agnes really shocked and replied back to her, "My grandma did in fact pass away. What else should I tell you?" I raised my voice a bit because this is unacceptable. Agnes's final words were, "Yeah, that's okay. It's all right. It's all good." I didn't say anything further and went to my locker. But this has upset and angered me the whole time I was at work, and I have thoughts of quitting because the level of disrespect and lack of empathy towards someone who is visibly grieving is beyond me. Nobody cares how you feel in this store or establishment. I called my mom on my break to tell her this, and she was absolutely flabbergasted and shocked. But she did also tell me that the reason why she quit in April is because of the same level of disrespect, lack of empathy, and lack of care at this store. Always getting aggressed, yelled at, and Agnes not believing my mom when she's saying something. My mom says that the workplace I am at now is toxic, and she only saw that once she left. She gave me the option to quit as well and start work at her job so we're again working together, or search for a new place, or I stay where I'm at now. But honestly, after that, I'm not tolerating slander against me, my family, or my deceased family. That's not funny, nor is it okay to say that, ever.
Well.
Oh no.
My favorite example of this is it's not in a workplace, but it's as a teacher. And he sent a mass email out to everyone, and he's like, "I'm not sure what went around, but I guess 20 people's grandmothers have passed away all at the same time this week." And it was like finals week. Like it was like the
But this isn't
week like a
a
paper was due or something.
Right, there's no like deadline at work.
No,
though.
I'm just saying there's a time you can call it out then. You know, it's
Yeah,
like I
that's
don't know
also
if you guys
not calling it out to like one person.
That
in
email was so
specific.
funny because it's like, yeah, I don't know if you guys want me to like get a grief counselor for you all collectively, since all of you are dealing with the
Right.
exact
Should I just
same
bring
issue.
someone to the next lecture?
Yeah. But yeah, no, this place just sounds like she said that just because like she felt like she could.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you wouldn't just take the immediate hire job with your mom again.
Yeah, you should
Sounds
do that.
like a sweet gig. I'm visibly grieving, crying my eyes out for the loss of my grandma, and I get labeled as a liar? Small note, when I left work today and I clocked out, Agnes was suddenly again nice to me and told me goodbye in the nicest way possible, even smiling at me. I hate these mood swings. So, would I be the a-hole? I know I'm being stupid for asking, but I feel like I'm overreacting sometimes. Also, thank you for letting me get this off my chest. My emotions are all over the place, and I have a funeral to attend on Friday, which I'm not ready for, really. And we have an update 22 days later. So this is a post-funeral update.
Yeah, I think just get a different job if you want. You know? If it's if the opportunity is abundant and available to you.
Yeah, I feel like you know
Just get
that
out of
she
there.
sucks, so why are we still here? First of all, the original post was written in a state where my emotions and feelings were running quite high and all over the place. I needed a place to vent, and I'm thankful you guys gave me that space. I have calmed down, and I'm on my way of healing from the loss of my grandma. We had the funeral too. The worst days of my life are now in the past, and I feel better. Now to the small update. To remind you, I recently lost my grandma, 88, due to a heart attack. And Agnes, my boss at work, told me, "You don't lie about something like this," when I showed her the flyer thing you get after someone passes away. I don't know how common that is, but in my country, it's pretty common. That flyer also stated the date of her funeral. I had a mental breakdown after I wrote my original post, but I calmed down shortly after. I still have no idea in what way Agnes meant what she said, and I'm still not 100% sure. While coworkers at work tell me, "Oh, she didn't mean it like that, don't worry," My family was shocked and didn't understand why Agnes would say such a thing. They would shake their head in disbelief and ask me what the heck she was thinking. So this is a complicated matter, and I decided to just leave it and move on with my life. The funeral of my grandma was on October 17th, a Friday, which is also coincidentally my birthday. And no, we couldn't go around it. We tried, but the pastor was only available for us on that day. This day was the most difficult day of my life, and I was mentally and emotionally a wreck. I couldn't stop crying, and seeing my mom cry too, which is so rare, made me cry even more. We had this meal after the funeral, and I couldn't feel happy, let alone enjoy myself. Despite getting so many birthday wishes, this was not the place to celebrate, so we moved my birthday onto the 18th the next day.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
The funeral destroyed me mentally, physically, and emotionally. So I called in sick for Saturday because I would have had another mental breakdown and I was not in the state to work. This time, Agnes took it surprisingly well and she didn't say anything. I recovered now from the loss of my grandma and the funeral we had. Not 100%, but it's getting easier slowly. By the way, you can slowly or quickly listen to more full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. There's just a little bit left.
Maybe Agnes really was like, she saw the flyer and then was like, oh, you don't like something about this. Like just being like, oh yeah, it's like, this is true because you don't lie about something like this.
Yeah, based off her past history though.
An inside comment that came out. Yeah.
Agnes, leave your inside comments inside. I still feel like, though, Agnes got something going on that she obviously needs to get under control, so maybe we just find another job.
No, the odds of that just being an inside thought are not very high.
Yeah.
I think she was just, I don't know. She just she was like, oh, I got her. I'll put her on the spot. She won't know how to recover. Oh, well, this isn't something you lie about. And then just the immediate, excuse me, what did you just say? And she's like, no, never mind. I'm sorry. No, it's fine.
I said the wrong thing.
No, it's fine. It's good. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah. When I went back to work the following Monday, Agnes kept ignoring me. And honestly, I didn't mind. Normally, she says morning OP when I come in the morning, but she'd just say morning in a not so enthusiastic and friendly way. I kept ignoring it because whatever, I'm here to do my work and leave, right? As of right now, I haven't quit my job yet, and I'm still working there. I'll keep this quitting thing in the back of my head should anything else happen, but I don't want to risk anything, and maybe I was overreacting. Because now that my emotions are back to normal, maybe I did kind of overreact, so I don't know. But I'm doing well right now, and I'm currently on a 1-week holiday from work, so this was needed. I'll update you should anything else happen, but I thought I'd come here and say this. Thank you to those who read my original post when I was a wreck, haha. And that is the end of that story.
My HR boss is obsessed with my life.
It's not a very good HR boss.
Hi Reddit, let me tell you about how my HR coworker became obsessed with me. I need to get this off my chest because I don't know if I'm overreacting anymore or if this has really turned into a weird level of obsession. My name is Claudia. I'm 25 female and I work at a company where unfortunately professionalism seems to be absent. What started as something small has spiraled into something creepy. And by the way, this comes from Deleted, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. OP says, it all began when a colleague my age, Victor, 25 male, showed interest in me. I have a boyfriend, so I turned him down, politely, professionally, and without any drama. But his ego didn't handle the rejection well. He sulked, acted distant, and spent a solid week behaving like a teenager who had just been left on red. Eventually, he seemed to move on, but unfortunately, the drama didn't end there. That's when Addison, a 45-year-old woman who works in HR, started showing interest in Victor. Since she had told half of the office that he liked me, Addison decided that she hated me. For no reason. I have never had any problems with her before, but suddenly she was giving me dirty looks, ignoring me, or being outright rude without any explanation. I could have stopped there and just been a petty office situation, but no, it escalated into something straight up creepy. I have a very defined personal style. I think preppy, dark academia, long dresses, boots, tights, layers, and a yellow umbrella that I carry because I'm a huge How I Met Your Mother fan.
You carry an umbrella even when it's not raining?
I suppose. Has anyone seen How I Met Your Mother?
No, I know there's a yellow umbrella, but
just carry it all the time.
Carry it all the time?
That's so funny. I also had blonde hair until recently when I dyed it a rich brown, got long extensions, and added a wispy fringe. Addison, who has always had short orange hair and dressed in plain jeans, suddenly showed up with brown hair dyed to match mine, identical long extensions, bangs, and even the same yellow umbrella.
Oh, that's wild behavior.
That is wild. A yellow umbrella is not something that everyone will just
She
have.
also likes How I Met Your Mother.
That's all, guys. She
Just
just
randomly,
loves How I Met Your Mother.
Just watched it.
Exactly.
Watched it. Wow.
Watched it.
Wow.
Watched it.
She began copying my outfits, boots, tights, skirts, the whole look. I'm not exaggerating when I say people noticed immediately. At least you're not the only one then that noticed. I feel like I was expecting you to be the only one, and everyone was just like, I don't know.
What do you mean? She just
looks
dyed
great.
her hair brown.
Yeah.
Like, what's the problem?
But it didn't stop there. She started spreading lies about me, flaunting swimsuit pictures of herself in front of Victor's friends right where I could see, and loudly laughing or touching Victor's face whenever I walked by.
OP doesn't even like Victor, though.
Yeah.
Like, what is this doing?
Victor just likes OP. Like, calm down.
Weird.
I would be like, could I reach out to HR? But you can't.
You're HR. Yeah.
Can I get a new HR?
It felt like high school drama, except we're adults, in an office. And to top it off, she stalks me online.
Oh my god.
I've caught her on my TikTok and LinkedIn repeatedly. Even after I blocked her, fake accounts kept popping up, all linked back to the same email patterns.
Classic.
It was unsettling, to say the least. I've tried to remain professional through all of this. I don't want to stir up any unnecessary drama, but she constantly throws passive-aggressive comments my way. She claims I don't do any real work, even though I'm literally one of the most needed people in the company. Flex. She talks loudly about her spicy sleep life, inappropriate, especially whenever Victor is nearby, making it clear she wants me to hear it. And I want you to hear full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. And there is a little bit more to the story, but yeah, this is very clear what is happening.
Yikes.
Yep.
I say you got to reach out to someone like a higher up or something like this,
Yeah.
because this
dude.
is not.
You gotta go past
Professional.
HR.
Yeah, are there more people in HR? Is
Is there
just
HR?
her?
HR?
I
Can
feel
I
like
get an HR for this HR, please?
I feel like HR would be like, usually more than one person. Although I guess in the office it was just Toby.
Yeah, I'm
so
sure they have a
maybe
higher
not.
up though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
'Cause I'm sure things can get escalated past HR.
Yeah.
Go there.
Definitely. There is a little bit more to the story. What makes this worse is that Addison has already engaged in harmful behavior with other coworkers. Several people have quit because they couldn't handle her. Oh my gosh. One younger colleague, Allie, 24 female, lost her grandmother and asked for a couple of days off to attend the hospital and then the funeral. Addison, showing no empathy, told her that she didn't believe her. Allie ended up resigning shortly afterwards, completely devastated. Nobody dares confront Addison because as HR, she holds power and people prefer to avoid conflict. So now I'm stuck in this toxic loop. I love my job, I'm good at it, but I constantly feel watched, harassed, and disrespected. And since the problem is HR itself, I don't even have a safe place to report it. At this point, I don't know whether to laugh, cry, or just start dressing differently every week to see if she keeps trying to copy me. And that is the end of that story, but wow.
Yeah, escalate that.
Totally.
That's wild.
I know, yeah, definitely talk to your boss,
Yeah.
for sure, because I'm sure there's like a manager of your department.
They can help you get around HR.
Yeah, because I feel like in a lot of workplaces anyway, it's kind of like you can talk to the boss anyway,
Right.
and then they might like refer you to HR.
Right.
But like you can definitely
Reverse
come to them
that.
first.
Yeah, there's
exactly.
no way that HR is holding all the power in this company.
Totally.
That'd be wild.
Which would be just like a crazy way. It makes me
The
think of like
reverse point of
Cersei
HR.
in Game of Thrones. It's like
Never
you don't
watched
have
it.
to be on the throne to have power.
Oh.
All right, Littlefinger, calm down.
No, it's okay. I feel like she does that pretty early on. But anyway, yeah, that's the end of that story. I'm honestly relieved that other people noticed that she's copying you.
Yeah, me too.
So
the yellow
it's-
umbrella is such an easy giveaway.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's first of all, it's already weird that you're doing that. So it's like extra weird if someone else does that.
Yeah.
People will notice. People will notice.
My co-teacher became emotionally obsessed with me.
That sounds dangerous.
I, 32 female, am a second-year high school teacher and part of a team with two other teachers. Let's call them Jill 29 female, and Hannah, 41 female. I won't specify our subject in case they're on Reddit, as the situation is already messy enough. By the way, this comes from user difficultfunny302, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. OP says, I started mid-year last school year, which, if you've ever taught, is an incredibly stressful experience, made even harder by the fact that it was my first time teaching in public school. From the start, I got off on the wrong foot with Hannah. I don't know if she felt threatened by me or was just wary of newcomers, but she made it clear she had a problem with me before even getting to know me. For context, Hannah did some pretty petty things, like telling my students I didn't know how to teach my subject, and even spreading a rumor that I pop pills because she once saw me take my prescribed medication during my off period. I wasn't even thinking about it at the time. Why would I? But her comments, along with other petty behavior, eventually got back to me. That's actually insane.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Suggesting that?
Well, just like saying that to students.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, Mrs. OP, pill popper. Such a strange thing.
Yeah.
Since I'm a direct person, I confronted her. I made it clear that if I heard her speaking negatively about me again, she was going to have a problem. And honestly, after that, she backed off, and we're actually cool now. Ironically, though, this story is about Jill. At first, Jill was warm and welcoming. We bonded quickly, probably too quickly, forming what I now recognize as a trauma-bonded friendship. I was grateful to have a friend when I was struggling to find my footing, especially with Hannah actively trying to sabotage me. In that time, we shared a lot. I'm naturally an open person. I'll tell you anything, and I don't shy away from discussing my past, which includes childhood trauma, serious medical issues, and loss. I've been in and out of therapy my whole adult life, and was just as open with Jill as I would be with anyone. She also shared a lot about her own traumatic past, and we bonded over that. But there were red flags. At first, they were small, things I brushed off. She seemed to struggle with controlling her emotions. She'd get jealous if a student came to me for help instead of her. She'd start the day crying, saying she hadn't slept. If I spoke to Hannah about work-related things, she'd feel excluded. I was patient and reassuring at first, thinking she just suffered from anxiety and self-consciousness. Because I could see she was struggling, I shared my psychiatrist's information, suggested medication might help since it had helped me, and even invited her to church. She accepted all of this willingly. But as time went on, her behavior escalated. One major red flag was when she told me she had no friends at all outside of me. You just got there, though. I was blunt with her. I told her that wasn't healthy and that she needed to put herself out there. I even expressed that it concerned me because I couldn't be someone's everything. I'm a wife and mother, and she still lives at home with her parents. We were at very different stages in life, but she quickly started calling me her best friend. I made sure to clarify that while I have a solid group of longtime best friends, I was always open to new friendships, but that didn't seem to deter her. By the end of last year and through summer, I was still her cheerleader. We cried together, laughed together, and even spent time outside of work, but I started feeling emotionally drained. Her constant anxiety and stress were triggering my own. When the new school year started, she was worse than ever. She wasn't sleeping, constantly crying, and seemed angry all the time. I found out she had met someone online over the summer, and it wasn't working out. She wanted to talk about it constantly. Every conversation for weeks revolved around it. I tried to be patient, but eventually I told her I was done discussing it. I had given all the advice I could. She needed to move on. At this point, she had started medication from the psychiatrist I recommended, but wasn't seeing a therapist. I told her plainly, I'm in a season of my life where I need to be equally yoked in friendships, equally jacked, equally stacked, I need my friendships to be shredded.
Let's go.
I believe she is referring to the olden use of the word yoked.
More
Which is
religious.
like a yoke on like an ox, equally yoked.
I'm thinking
where
like
it's like we're working equally. We're all wearing the same pair of pants. I don't know. I'm not a farmer. Where's Riley?
Good old etymology.
Riley, I know he wasn't a farmer either, but he had goats.
Sure.
Opie continues, that might sound selfish, but I need people who can pour into me the way I pour into them. I reminded her that I wasn't her mentor, big sister, or therapist. I could be her friend, but that was it. This led to our first real confrontation. Things got awkward, but we eventually settled back into a routine, though I was pulling back. I was emotionally exhausted. As I distanced myself, she became more reactive, and she'd tell me I was being cold or aggressive. Another big moment happened when I finally told her some of the behaviors that made me uncomfortable. I know I have my own issues and I can be blunt, but I also have great friends and former coworkers who I still have strong relationships with. Sometimes spending 40 hours a week with someone just creates friction. One time she told me she wasn't sleeping because of demonic dreams. Since we had already shared religious experiences, I suggested she see a priest or someone who could help. In hindsight, I understand why she took offense, but I genuinely wasn't trying to be insulting. Then came the late night texts. She would send me long emotional messages in the middle of the night about how I had hurt her feelings. The first time I firmly told her not to do that again. It wasn't okay to drop triggering messages on me before we had to work together the next day. But she kept doing it. I put the Lego in front of you because I block you.
Yeah.
Well, I guess those are bricks, not blocks.
Get your Lego knowledge right. I'm telling Keon.
Gonna tell Keon.
Now they'll never sponsor the show.
But I did kind of wonder if this girl would like be an ear for OP's problems, but it really does sound like she's just complaining to OP and not really being there for OP.
Yeah.
OP's just being there for her, which I mean OP kind of confirmed, I guess, with like that equal yoke stuff. When it comes to feelings, a lot of times, you know, if someone says something and it hurts someone else's feelings, that is in the wrong. That's wrong. You shouldn't hurt someone's feelings. This situation feels like, you know, your feelings probably got hurt. Not my fault. I can't really control your feelings. I was right in what I was saying. I believe in what I was saying. I think I was going about it in a good way. I think it's good that I'm being honest. It's just a coincidence, I guess, or it's just your issue that your feelings got hurt in this situation.
OP continues, it all built up until she sent another late night message and I snapped. I talked to my husband and friends and they all told me this person seemed emotionally unwell and that I needed to cut ties. So I did. I texted her, Jill, I'm done. I can't keep doing this. But a few days later, she came to my room wanting to talk. She seemed genuinely self-reflective and we both agreed to move forward. But things were never quite the same. It was still tense and with occasional outbursts from her. I was trying to be patient, especially since she was now dealing with a serious family illness. And then yesterday happened. After our boss left, she accused me of taking credit for something she did. I was honestly confused because it was such a trivial thing, something we had all worked on as a team, and I wasn't nice about it. I snapped, sorry, in a rude tone, and walked away. I was just done. Then today, everything exploded. A student asked me for something, and I said no. They responded, I'll just go ask Jill. I half-jokingly said, go ahead. She's a pushover. She'll probably give it to you. I didn't mean it maliciously. But I shouldn't have said it. Well, the student ran to her and told her. She stormed into my room, yelling at me in front of the student that I was rude and shouldn't call her a pushover. I was so caught off guard that I started shaking and had to sit down. Woohoo, PTSD triggers. She stormed out, and when the bell rang for lunch, she came back to tell me something unrelated. I said, hey, we need to talk about what just happened. You can't run into my room yelling like that. You didn't even give me a chance to explain. That's when she fully unloaded every ounce of pent-up resentment. She called me mean, accused me of taking credit for things all the time, and finally yelled, you're mean! I don't like you! I don't like you! I just don't like you! But I'll tell you what I would like you to do, is to listen to full episodes with stories just like this. On Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever your favorite podcast app is, just go there and search OK Storytime.
I'm sorry. She yelled, I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't like you.
Yeah, she put her fingers in her ears and said, I don't like you, I don't like you.
That's crazy. She's an adult. Why is she, first of all, yelling in the workplace? Second of all, yelling that at all. That is so insane. Sounds so immature.
Yeah, I would just be like, are you sure you don't like me?
Yeah. Oh, really?
Are you sure you don't like me? You said I was your bestie.
Yeah, you said I was your only friend, actually.
You
But
don't like
you're
me?
not my only friend. Definitely not my bestie.
She then ran back into her room. I just sat there completely drained. I cried through lunch, tried to hold it together for the rest of the day, but broke down again during my last period. I'm so exhausted. I don't even know what to do anymore. My husband thinks I should just go tell our boss, but I feel like I'm just as culpable. I know if I do that, I will just be spitting in our grave. However, I don't know if that's the wisest thing to do to protect myself. It's just all really unfortunate, and I feel a lot of it, most of it, on her part is just her being constantly triggered and reacting to those feelings. And that's the end of that story. And you can say that to your boss. It's okay. Go, look, I just don't think me and Jill are going to work well together because she's got a lot of emotional stuff she's going through, and I'm not equipped to be there for her in that capacity. And it feels like she is putting me in a place of obligation to where if I can't show up for her in that way, I'm now a villain.
Yeah.
I already gave her a psychiatrist,
Yeah.
and now she, whatever. Like, things are getting bad between us. We need some sort of degree of separation.
Totally. Totally.
Totally.
That is the end of the story, yes?
That is the end of that story.
Yes.
And
We have some comments. Comments are from the video. My best friend kicked me out of her wedding. Posted on August 22nd, 2025. TLDR, OP's friend Charlotte, ironically. we just had
No
Charlotte.
way.
Yeah.
Another
OP's friend
one?
Charlotte asked her to wear a white dress to her wedding, even picking it out herself. At the wedding, Charlotte screamed at OP for wearing white and punted her out, saying it was a friendship test. When OP threatened to expose the truth, Charlotte's husband tried to hit on her as an apology. OP posted proof on Facebook showing that Charlotte set her up on purpose, and now everyone knows the bride wore blue while tricking her friend into wearing white just to humiliate her. And I do vaguely remember this story.
I don't remember that, but
is
I gotta say,
crazy.
you never wear white to the wedding. That was a trap. Should have known that was a trap. You go, I don't care if you want me to wear this white dress. I'm not gonna wear it. It's your wedding. You're crazy.
That's crazy. But then she'd be like, you passed. But the fact that she's doing some sort of test on her friend at all is insane.
Commenter 1. Opie, 1997. It sounds like the bride just wanted some kind of memorable drama at her wedding. Opie didn't ruin the wedding, but she just took the drama bait. Bride would have been super disappointed if Opie didn't wear the white dress.
Yeah, right. What do you mean? She would have been so happy. She would have been like, oh, my best friend, I found you. Now I know that you're my bestie because you didn't wear the dress. It was all a test.
And commenter 2, Min Moon 95. My cousin told all of the women of her wedding to wear a satin dress and asked me to see the only dress I had. It was a big red ball gown, and she was over the moon telling me to use it. I told her, I love you, but that is not appropriate for the wedding. I will get a new dress, and it's not even in the color palette. Good thing that I ignored her, because my dress wouldn't even fit in the venue space, and everyone would have tripped over or damaged it. Most of all, I would have been the only one out of theme.
Yeah, that'd be embarrassing.
Alizu 4755. Anyone giving a friendship test isn't mature enough to get married. If OP has any proof that Bridezilla asked her to wear that dress, she needs to make it public. In any case, she needs to block them all and also show literal receipts from the $250 she gave for the wedding. Good luck to the groom. Edit to add, never mind, they deserve each other. I think the groom ended up sucking too.
I see.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the fact that he tried to apologize by hitting on her is pretty crazy. It's like, I'm so sorry, girl, for my
So
crazy
sorry.
wife, but like, you shouldn't feel bad because you're so hot.
Yeah, my wife
So
is
hot.
probably just acting like this because you're so hot and delicious. I wish that I was marrying you.
And last comment, Sherry Mulliver Thompson, 8388. And OP asking about the dress negated any perceived need for a friendship test. This person took that opportunity to put her in a no-win situation. Wearing the dress got the offended response, and I am almost positive that not wearing the dress would have gotten you the don't trust me response. There was no equal ground on this one.
Yeah. I mean,
It's crazy all around.
she exposed herself as someone you don't want to be friends with.
Yeah.
Congrats. You don't have to ever be friends with that lame-o again.
Yeah.
And you can move on, onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards.
It happens
that's
to
what I always
everyone.
say.
Everyone has a friend where they're like, this is my friend. And then at some point they go, oh, no, it's not.
But that is the end of that story and episode then.
All right. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And see you
tomorrow.